All right, welcome back, everybody. I know we took quite a long break there. We had planned initially to have this game 24 hours from now, but the teams are ready to go. They've kind of got all that experience in, so they're ready to jump right into it. So today I do have with me Rockazor is going to be my co-caster today.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to go. I know these teams are definitely rearing to get at each other once again for sure.
Oh yeah, they messaged the casting team. They were ready to go. They were like, hey, let's just go ahead and run this out. So here we are. Dias put in hopefully another hour of team crunching. But let's see what they've got for us. We'll jump here into champ select here shortly.
Yeah, here in just a couple seconds. Yeah, I know, man. Like I was when y'all called me back, like I was surprised. I was like, man, you'd think Dias, wanted to take some time to do some, what's it called? Where like they go back to the drawing boards basically, and that just never happened. And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm not the
absolutely.
player.
Yeah, but it looks like it does look like maybe there was a little bit of planning. These bands are going out fairly quick. Rek'Sai, Evelyn, pretty standard bands so far.
Yeah, they don't want to see Poo Poo Gobbler pop off again. Rek'Sai would be definitely beneficial for sure.
Yeah, but it does appear that his days as a Rek'Sai have come and gone.
Yeah, they were very short. They were just that one-off little, I think it was one weekend basically. You got to use it.
Yeah, basically. Very very strong Darius bands.
There's Caitlyn, one of the, I think one of our the strongest AD carries, minus Samira probably right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely I like the range and the power that Caitlyn provides. That the distance in her net kind of provide her that that safety net, if you will.
We got that Yasuo Pantheon, of course. Very, all six of these bands. I 100% agree with, understand, and can see why they would ban these out in the first three for sure.
Absolutely, and Dias, it looks like they're kind of banning out from game one earlier today, when that Pantheon kind of wreaked havoc in that bot lane and Darius in the top lane. Unfortunately, they are not first picked, and so Whiteman is going to be able to pick up a Lucian here.
But they're picking that Ornn though. That's I know I just played against an Ornn and definitely got destroyed in that game.
Oh yeah, that Ornn was extremely strong. Both those top laners, Malphite and Ornn, put in a lot of work in their last game that they played against one another. Ornn obviously coming away with a victory, had a very strong team to support him. But that's not to say that Malphite didn't himself put in a lot of work as well.
Yeah, Malphite definitely, he had a great game. But I mean, Ornn is just, honestly, I think if you don't have a Vayne on your team, there's not many people who can deal with an Ornn. Like, honestly, it's how I view it. Not many jungle champs out there can. I mean, not even many AD carries can deal with an Ornn.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Ornn. I mean, you could try to bring back another. I think there used to be like Vaynes in the top lane. That could be an option going against the Lucian mid or Lucian top. Vayne would probably have a pretty good time against Ornn.
Looks like we're gonna get that Udyr jungle for Inthobes there. That's I understand it as a jungler. I think he's quite broken, so that's definitely gonna be that's really gonna be helpful for them throughout the entire game. I mean, early, mid, and late game, he can pop off.
And here we see actually a Camille. Looks like a Camille in the top lane. This is really strong. She has a very good trade window, so she should be able to poke this Ornn down without taking too much damage due to her passive, where she'll get that shield over and over.
Thankfully, I think that Udyr Camille could be really helpful, could be really beneficial to them in that top lane, because if you can kind of stop that Ornn early game, if you can get 1, 2, 3 kills off on him, to really snowball your champ and to snowball that lane, that really decimates Ornn, because once he gets his first item, that's really when he starts his snowball. But if you can push that time frame as far back as possible, then you definitely cut back on how much damage you can deal throughout the entire game.
I'll beat it out of
Absolutely, yeah. Orange passive allowing him to buy items in lane. One way to send him back is to definitely kill him. That'll make him base.
Yeah, never let him get that gold lead either.
Your eyes closed.
Yeah, that is one of the advantages that provides. I mean, he gets to sit in that lane and soak up additional experience that a lot of champions have to back for. So that it's really good. I mean, it's just an overall really good kit, being able to sit there and build your items in the lane. So far, it does look like Dice is looking to go a little bit tankier this time, with that Ornn and that Galio in the mid lane there. I'd be interested to see if they're going to pick up some type of tanky bot lane as well, and hope for misfortune and
do it really easily.
Because as we've seen in the past,
I mean, not Barksdale POC said it just now that
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, Galio is definitely. I always enjoy a good Galio. They add a lot to the team.
Though it is questionable though, in my opinion, just looking at it, right? Like if this Lucian, and since the Camille's out, I can only assume he's going mid. It could be going ADC. I'm not 100% yet. But if he goes mid lane, Galio gets a magic resistance shield to magic damage. So if you had an 80 in attack damage, right? That it's kind of questionable just because he doesn't get as you're not fully using him to his power.
Absolutely, yeah. So Galio does have a pretty decent amount of kill potential on champions like Lucian, but I mean he's kind of an all-in. He does require some backup because once he goes in, Lucian is going to be able to deal a lot of additional damage on his retreat. So he's going to have to be careful with how much poke he does and really pay attention to those all-in windows.
Definitely. It looks like we're going to see a Kindred again. Could be definitely. Yeah, Kindred could be pretty good against this team. She's able to kite away from most of these champions, able to deal a lot of damage. And that is a Swain Seraphine bot lane. So it looks like they're not going to go for a full AD champ roster there. They actually have some magic damage coming down in their kits this time around.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a very interesting bot lane there. I'm not too sure on the meta around Seraphine. I haven't been watching a lot of her play since she's been released. I'm not sure how this lane is really going to fare. But they should be really good with this misfortune. Her ability to dish out massive amounts of damage should work really well, and then Soraka kind of sustain any type of pokes. I'm very interested to see how this mid lane is going to go in this game.
I really am. That's probably, I think, out of all these lanes, other than the Swain Seraphine, of course, since there's no true AD carry in that lane, I am really excited for this Lucian versus Galio in the mid lane. Binga versus Asian Flipside, very strong players with some pretty strong champions as well. Pretty strong. They're going to have a lot of, I will say that Dias is looking to have a lot of pressure around the map just with Galio's ult. Warren probably going to be taking TP, of course, as well, compared to Udyr. Udyr has some speed, granted, but, they're not going to have as much map pressure.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen some really strong Udyrs. These are kind of off the wall the picks. For me, really, as far as the junglers go, I don't fully understand the Kindred. I do think there are better junglers that they could have picked into this kind of team comp. So I'm kind of curious to see what their plan is for the Kindred, and of course with the Kindred ult, with the Ornn and Galio kind of being in there, more than likely going to be using that more so than anyone else.
Yeah, I can only assume that Kindred's ult, Lambs or Spite, is basically just stops people from dying and then gives a heal at the end, but stops any champion from dying. So I assume it's either going to be used to save that Soraka and Misfortune when Misfortune goes for ulti, because she gets pretty vulnerable there. But it could also be used to help save Ornn or Galio for whatever reason. They engage a little bit too early before the team is there to back them up properly. So I just, we're gonna have to wait and find out. But I do understand, like, that's a, life-saving ult. Along with Soraka's heal, you're looking at a pretty big, basically probably almost a full health heal for most of that entire team there, in these 5v5. Though I have not seen I've seen Seraphine and like Morgana or Lux, or just kind of, not true 80 carry in there that can work well with Seraphine. I've never seen a Swain Seraphine, so I'm actually really excited to see how this plays into a more standard bot lane MF and Soraka. But yeah, Seraphine has a wild kit for sure.
Absolutely. It does seem kind of strange banning out that Ashe. I know Centric had played Misfortune earlier. He's kind of gone away from his Senna. I mean, Caitlyn was already banned out. But I mean, I do believe Ashe was available at the time of them picking, so I'm not sure why you wouldn't maybe picked her up. Morgana being a very strong support, and then of course Yuumi being a very strong support, they opted to go for a Soraka over someone like a Yuumi, who I feel is crazy whenever attached to people like Galio and Ornn.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, or even attached to MF, giving her the speed buff. Her ult can lock down, if done right, an entire team. And you put, that Yuumi MF ult together. I mean, you're looking at pretty big damage, just because, I mean, how much, I want to say, is it Rain of Fire? I think can deal.
You're talking about Misfortune?
I
think it's like Bullet Storm or something.
Something, Bullet Time, something like that. I'm about to find out here in a second. But yeah, no, definitely, hopefully, will be a great game. I know Dias showed up in their last game today, in their last 2 games that they just played there versus Whiteman. So, hopefully, they got a reset, and it's going to be a great game that we're going to have today in this best of 5.
Absolutely, yep. Definitely interested to see how these teams kind of play out. And yeah, with this best of 5 kind of meta, these teams have already played today. So this is Dias' actually 3rd game today against Maxwell. So still a lot of adaptation that can take place. We've already seen some changes as far as the Galio, the Soraka, the Kindred coming in. Udyr's a new pick, the Swain, and Camille. So I mean, both of these teams kind of showing their versatility and how big their champ pools really are.
So far, ping's going down. We got some of the top, some of the bot lane. Looks like Dias is pinging for a full 4-man front there to guard. But here we have Maxwell coming in with a 5-man invade on red.
This is kind of against the grain here, not the typical. Usually Dias is the one looking to invade.
I was about to say the same thing. Looks like Poo Gobbler opted to use his flash early, since he didn't start Dance of Arrows in the Wolf's Frenzy, of course. He doesn't have that escape just yet, so his flash is already down off of that invade. So that's, technically, by standard, that's a worthy invade, to get a summon up like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Taking something like the flash from the jungler is really strong early. I mean, most of the harass that kind of took place is already healed back up. Everyone's back in their lanes, ready to go.
Back and ready to fight. I mean, this is that. If Dias plays like they did in the last 2 games, and if Maxwell, if they continue to play how they did versus Dias, we're looking to see fights consistently this entire game.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I hope this doesn't kind of bite Dias in the butt. I mean, they did get away with a lot of fights in that last game. It got them really strong, and they carried their early game lead into the late game. Whereas now they're going against Maxwell, who's currently the #1 team in this league. So they weren't able to get away with as much aggression as they were in the first 2 games. Or they weren't able to get away with that much aggression in the first 2 games that they were later. So I hope that they kind of understand their damage windows.
We got a couple trades going down there, basically across the map. Ornn and Camille doing a level 1 trades, probably going to be even. But at the bot lane, Seraphine and Eccentric were really trying to shut down this Seraphine. I mean, they were focusing her down. She was less about a quarter of her health. So you're going to use the pull off. They hit the level 2 first. Turns on the bed. She doesn't get the auto, but the heal comes out. And Shira is able to save him just barely in time.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that I don't really like about a lot of the double mages down in the bot. They don't have as much sustained damage going against somebody like Misfortune. And so this is what we were talking about. They're going to be able to win a lot of these trades where Soraka can heal right back up. And both these mages are looking to deal some damage where if they miss some of these skill shots or they're missing some of their abilities, that's a big damage potential that they've already lost, whereas Misfortune's going to get a lot of her damage just off of auto attacking.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of that auto damage, absolutely. And I mean, they're poking out. Well, luckily, Seraphine has a lot of poke in her kit, and it works well with swings pools. But other than that, I mean, once those abilities are out, you're not looking at much. The early game for Maxwell is kind of hurting more towards the early game of Gaius until these mages get their full kits.
Absolutely, and we've seen Kindred come in on the mid lane there. Lucian had to go into the river. Got a little unsafe. He ended up flashing over the wall there, so his flash is going to be down. We may see a re-engage from this Kindred in the mid lane.
Here we have Invos thinking about coming in. TP coming down from Manadel. They're going to go in for this gank. He's going to pull up Bear stance, keep the stun on Ornn, go into Phoenix stance. Ornn's hurting. He's going to go back in, re-engage. Camille's going to be able to pull off her precision protocol along with her tactical sweep. Just barely not secure a kill. I mean, that was pretty decent. Top diff like that away from the lane after losing that first trade between Manadel and Ornn.
Absolutely, we see both the supports going down in the bot lane there. I believe Soraka taking an extra tower shot, ended up costing her life.
Surprised we haven't seen, this mid lane. Not much is happening there. They're just kind of slightly poking each other, but not really going in. I definitely was expecting a couple more bouts between those two.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, the mid lane is something that we're going to need to watch. Lucian's got to play a little bit safe, so he's kind of on his back foot right now while that flash is down. Especially with the ability of Galio to kind of jump in and get that taunt off, followed up by his knockup. So he definitely has to be very careful for any type of engages like that.
Here we have Udyr going again, but being able to get caught by the red ward. Top diff will be able to get, going to get safely away as we see him catching out like that. Using hook shot to avoid the Bellows Brad. He's gonna really pump some damage out there. Landing both precision protocol and tactical sweep. That was a great hook shot. I don't know if you watched that, but I mean, he quickly avoided both the volcanic rupture and Bellows Breath damage.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, Camille, like you said, going in and out, she's going to be able to get a lot of really favorable trades with her abilities, and then of course doing that true damage with her second precision protocol is really going to eat through any type of damage that Ornn can do. She did try to flash there, hoping to get that last hit off. Unfortunately, Ornn was able to get away and find some safety underneath that tower.
Yeah, looking at the ability, I didn't know, but tactical sweep does an additional 7% of max health damage if they've already been hit with the outer half. We have Fufu Gobbler going in, trying to secure his second mark on the Scuttle, but Info is going to spot him out and rotate down. Here we go in Bear stance, now switch to Tiger stance. They're going to have to pull away. But hookshot going in, gets blocked down by the Galio. Galio's going to use the taunt, take it off. Fufu Gobbler going in, use dance of arrows, almost hitting Manadel down. One more auto will do it, Galio's 80% just gets it off, Illusion comes in. Bear stance gets the stun, securing the kill for Bingo. Looks like the entire team had rotated top. It's a 4-man. That was a 5-man in the mid fight there to secure 3 kills. Great job by Gaius for the rotate quick. I didn't even see that essentially Seraphine had come up all the way from the bot lane.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely defending that Scuttle Crab. Probably more so than I've ever seen.
I think that's the biggest Scuttle, 7-minute Scuttle Crab fight I've seen just to secure 1 mark. But it worked out really well for them. Guys definitely showing up in this early game here.
Absolutely, yeah. That was very good trade in favor of Dice there. And you can see they've basically already gone back in their lanes and they've reset. Didn't lose too much off of that, so that was very beneficial to them.
Not at all. It's like Essential's gonna pot bullet time. There we go, bullet time. But not gonna give him the off. Slightly wasted ult there. Pretty great trade there by the two majors.
Yeah, there goes the Gallia ult in the top lane, get the knock up onto the Camille there, followed up by the taunt, and there wasn't much that Camille could do.
Yeah, losing your life though will allow her team to take this first dragon, being the mountain, which gives a 6% increase to the armor and magic resistance. She's obviously going to take this Rift Herald now. But will not get seen out by Binga. He opted to pop them. But he should be seeing her just in a couple seconds, if not at all.
Yeah, both these teams doing really well with vision, clearing out a lot of wards and keeping pinks up.
Yeah, placing a lot of wards, clearing it out. Looks like they had a slight reset there. Dies for the most part. I did expect Kugalber to go for his fourth mark since they saw Udyr down there on the bottom, but he didn't opt to take that Grom, so. Again, not much happening across the board. Junglers taking their camps. Looks like this top wave has a pretty good push. Hook shot's gonna go in. Already hit the tactical sheet position health damage. Manabel's looking to secure this kill on Orange. Pretty low, but as long as he's gonna get it with just a few casters.
Yeah, most of these lanes just kind of sitting there farming up. We do see an engage down in the bot lane there. A lot of damage going down on Seraphine. He's got 3 members of Team Dice. Looks like they are going to catch out that Swain. Kindred's going to come in under the tower and end up getting the rest of that life from Seraphine. Ha! In the Rift Herald. And they may swing this into the first tower.
What are you at, Violent?
Good.
Alright.
So they weren't actually able to get that tower. They were able to get most of the plates, leaving 1 plate left behind. Lucian ended up coming in and ended up losing his life down there in the bot lane, trying to keep that tower alive.
Yeah, it's looking big. I think it's right around 900 health left or so. So has some defensive capability, but not much. I mean, that won't take too much to take down.
So this is definitely a different Dice. They were doing really well in this early game. Typically Maxwell's the one that's kind of taking advantage of the early game. And snowballing into a late game, whereas right now we see Dias kind of just running over him a little bit.
So we got Shyrise and Cryos coming up to this mid lane, trying to get this decent flip side down. But not much is gonna be happening there. And I agree with you absolutely. I think what I think is hurting Maxwell right now, though their late game does, their champions are pretty good late games, is that this double mage at the bottom is hurting them. Here we have a fight in the bottom going down. Strut make it range. She's gonna pop bullet time. Not much is gonna go off due to the heal for Shyrise. Gonna allow him to get out of it. So too much damage is gonna go down. Robert looking to do some invading there, but not gonna find anything there, seeing as Info has cleared his jungle. So we have infos in the bot lane coming down. Demon player has been popped. TP coming out from Camille. Flash by info. Strasser flash. You're gonna get the bear form off on Soraka. Switches to Tiger. Switches to the Phoenix to secure the kill. Got called the forge shot going down by Ornn. Lands it on Kairos. He's gonna fully go in there. Use a volcanic rupture followed by Searing Charge into Bella's Breath, but will not be able to secure this kill on Seraphine. And with the 4-man there down, will be able to secure the kill. Follow it up with the hook shot from Camille into the tactical sweep. Precision protocol and auto will secure the kill on Eccentric. That was a 3-man for 3. Flash going down by Binga as he got called out by Poo Poo Gobbler in the jungle.
That was a very strange play by Top Diff there to go in and deep against Maxwell. Went down rather quickly, even as tanky as he is. He wasn't able to get too much damage down before falling. Eccentric not having bullet time available during his engage, kind of just left with auto attacks against 4 members.
That's gonna secure the Cloud Drake, the second Drake there in favor of Maxwell. Poo Gobbler just trying to come in, deal some damage. Kraus is almost low, but no one's really gonna be able to catch up to her, though Gobbler's definitely wanting that kill pretty hard. Gallo ult goes down. Wolf's Frenzy goes down. Dance of Arrows, they're looking low. He's going to secure the kill onto Udyr. Dance of Arrows again, looking to get Kairos down. He's going to go one more auto, will secure that kill. Now they're onto Binga. Binga trying to get away. He dashes. Q'd Ardent Blaze, but due to the heal from Soraka, Poo Gobbler will stay alive. And it's going to be, I mean, that was questionable, but it worked out really well for Gobbler. I thought he was going in there alone, but thanks to the backup of his team. In the mid lane there, we had a tower dive coming out from Asian Flipside and Top Diff under the Ornn trying to secure the kill on some Manadale, but nothing really, even with their shields and health, they're not going to be able much. Top Diff taking a few too many turret shots. Shires will be able to secure that kill with Nevermore.
A summoner has disconnected.
Probably at a technical difficulty. Probably DC. It's if they DC, it says quit. Looks like are we back on live? So we got a little pause here as Bingo got DC technical difficulties. Do you wanna talk a little bit about what, man? Like, it's been in the last couple of minutes, things really started to amp up. I must say.
Yeah, I mean they've been going back and forth quite a bit there in this game. Dias had quite a bit of a lead there at one point. It just looks like they kind of started throwing themselves against Maxwell a little bit too much. I mean, they still are in the lead currently, but I'd like to see them, again, still keep playing the way that they've been playing. Don't try to change anything just because they're starting to get that advantage. Don't try to make any unnecessary pushes.
Looks like Binga just reconnected, so should be getting back into it in a couple of seconds here, hopefully. But absolutely. Even though Maxwell is definitely down, of course, they're roughly 3-ish K down, 3 kills, less. But they're and two towers down. They're still getting dragons. They're still doing well in the rotate, but they're just being caught out in their jungle by this Kindred Soraka and the map pressure that Dias has. But I mean, if they secure the dragons can definitely turn the tide of a game.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Dragons are definitely key, and it looks like we are going to see Infernal Drakes going forward as the third dragon. Typically dictates what kind of soul we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, so I mean, they're only 3K down. That's not a big. I mean, that's a lead, but it's not a huge lead, right? It's not something that can't be come back. They can't come back from. And as this time goes on, Swain is only going to ramp up. I mean, he's definitely a mid to late game champion. He deals so much.
Yeah, so they definitely have Udyr and they have Swain, which are pretty good. Obviously, Lucian being really strong as well. One of the things to be cautious of, though, is that Kindred scales really well, as well as the Misfortune. Obviously, Ornn becoming extremely tanky in the late game. Camille typically falling off. the longer the game goes on. So that's one thing that she needs to be careful of, especially as being an assassin that has to go kind of all the way in to deal her damage. She's going to have to worry about that Galio kind of taunting her and snagging her up.
Absolutely, yeah. With that Ornn knock up and the taunt come from the Galio, Mandel's definitely gonna have a rough time getting to the back line of Eccentric and Seraphine, which is definitely what's needed right now. If he can get into that back line, that's definitely how they're gonna win the 5v5s. We have Waves pushing Rift Heralds up for another 3 minutes or so. They have vision over there on Info, starting to Dice is pinging him, trying to hopefully take him out. He's gonna get away before anything can happen there. Looks like Kindred's trying to clear his camps. I think now, personally, would be a good time for Kindred to start going for this secondary Rift Herald. He doesn't have much up. Dragon's not up for another minute 30. He could definitely take it, pop it, and then give themselves a secured Dragon, which looks like they're...
Absolutely, yeah, good call there. Looks like they kind of had the same idea. They are going to try and snag this second Rift Herald.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, even though Guy's definitely winning the team fights, Eccentric kind of going in on Udyr. He's gonna Tiger Stance to get out of there. Sorry, Bear Stance is his move speed. I like. But he's gonna just go back, heal up from this bottom wave and push into tower. Maxwell not having much vision on this Dragon, even though it's 40 seconds, and it's definitely different from when they last played earlier today, because they were on top of vision in their games earlier today against Dias. Like a minute prior, to an objective, they'd be there starting vision.
Absolutely, yeah. Maxwell typically being one of the ones that have full control of most of the objectives, giving up the second Rift Herald of the game. They have secured both the dragons. They do have a ward over the wall, so they can kind of have vision of the dragon right now. But 13 seconds in, and it doesn't even look like they're starting to make a play. They actually just had Udyr and Camille both opt to go back, so that's only 3 members right at the spawning of the dragon here.
Udyr now pathing to his top jungle as well. It looks like, I assume they're going to be conceding this dragon, just because they're not in position to. They're not. Maxwell's not in position. Seraphine, Swain, and Binga and Lucian are walking away, so yeah, definitely conceding this third Infernal Drake.
Yeah, and you can see that that's very good communication. Nobody tried to go scout it out. There was no miscommunication on whether or not they were going to try it. It looked like the entire team just backed off and let them have it.
Yeah, and that could definitely be hurtful, is whenever the team's not all fully on together on that. But so that's great on them.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give a team an additional kill when they're picking up the dragon.
Yeah, it looks like Manadel, trying to trade that dragon for a tower. Most likely, it looks like he's going to get it. Rift Herald's going to be popped in the bot lane. A full 4 caster minions. MF and Seraphine should be able to. Yep. Goes down, takes it out. So hopefully they can trade. They did trade tower for tower though. It's going to get the second charge off.
Yeah, Rift Herald was able to get that charge in the bot lane, dealing roughly 80% of its life.
Yeah, Bingo popping the calling to hopefully take it down, but it was not enough damage. And man, his Dice,
We've actually got a teleport coming in to the back line here from the Camille. Looks like they're trying to come into the backside of Dice. Is going to jump on to the Soraka, dishing lots of damage out. Galio's going to go down, getting a knock-up on most of the team of Maxwell. And it looks like that's going to take out 3 members. Camille, Udyr, and Swain all going to go down. It's going to be a push into the mid lane.
Yeah, they should be rotating to Baron within, right now. Just because, down 3 players, down the jungler, down, Manadel. Not a lot of waves push. This is a perfect time for them to Baron.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about, that Camille opting to use her teleport in the jungle, and what they thought was going to catch Dias out there. As soon as Camille jumped in, and she tried to go for the squishiest target, which is Soraka, she just had so much so much CC, preventing her from even killing the support there. And it ended up costing all that AoE damage, cost 2 additional members of her team their lives as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good decision to definitely go on that Soraka first. You take Soraka out, you stop Wish from going down, which can heal just an inordinate amount of enormous amount of health, as along with her. I want to call it the Astral Infusion. Restoring 300 health to another champion. So you got to take her out before you do a team fight. That's I think your first priority. It looks like they're going to take this Baron, and they're going to do a 1-3-1 split. Really shoving all these waves as much as possible to hopefully take what towers they can.
Absolutely.
Hey, on the flip side, really, shoving this wave down is to be met by Binga in the bot lane. Things are going down. Manadale and Top Div having a fight. The TP comes out from Asian flip side to top lane. Top Div is hurting though. Bear stance does go down, does not be able to get stun. Galio taunt goes off, followed by the call of the Forge God. Gonna be taking turret shots. They're gonna have to call off, which saves Manadale infos for this turret. But they will secure this tower, this top tower. With that. Here in the mid lane with Poo-Poo Gobbler going in. He's using Wolf's Frenzy here to take out what he can. He's going to secure the kill on Swain. Charm had already gone down from Kairos. So that's going to not only, taking 3 turrets, he's doing a lot of damage with this Baron buff. They're really putting on the pressure, taking out as much objectives as possible.
Absolutely. Well, we've got our eyes to the top lane there. Actually, mid lane has lost a tower and an inhib. And it looks like this big duo is actually going to just keep pushing over and over. They end up getting another tower, an additional kill.
3 towers and an inhib off this Baron buff. That was, probably one of the greater uses of Baron I think we've seen all season, I'll be honest. I mean, that's a lot. that's
Absolutely, yeah. They
definitely
make very good use. And I mean, Dragon spawning about 25 seconds. It does look like Dias is able to get a reset, and they should be able to make it down there in time to prevent this from going over to Maxwell freely. But Maxwell is starting to make its way. We do see Lucian actually backing, though.
We see Lucian. Infos just came up. A ward went down on the Dragon Put, but the red ward from Dias is blocking that vision. So I think they're gonna have to concede it again. They may fight over for it, but I don't. At this time, I don't think Maxwell has much of an answer for this team comp from Dias. Pull it out. Blood Lord goes down. They are able to see that they have started the dragon, but they're too late to be able to do a steal, and it's gonna be the second Infernal Drake for Dias.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that Maxwell can do. They can try to look for some picks, but there's so many tanky members of the team on Dias right now that there's so much time for the rest of the team to come back and engage. And then, of course, Galio able to jump into a team fight and put down so much CC. There's not a lot that they can do.
Yeah, this Galio Orange combination is really impressive. Swain's going to catch Poo-Poo Gobbler out with his Death's Hand. But nothing's gonna be able to come of it due to the team's backing. They're, take the bot lane tower, take the bot lane inhibitor. That looks like they're roving top. They talked about it in their interview. Looking back to it, and they said that, hey, we're gonna play a comp we call the runaway comp, and it's just gonna be us moving around the map, taking objectives, and that's it. So they're definitely doing what they promised to do.
Absolutely, yeah. It's working really well. That Soraka able to sustain her entire team.
Yeah, I mean, the MF and Poo-Poo Gobbler do have a lot of speed, a lot of mobility champs, along with Galio and Orin, great engage. So they definitely have a great front line with a good back line, with a strong back line to back it up. Yeah, they're trying to get this, so for those who don't know, and I don't know if you have any non-league watchers out there, but if you take all 3 towers, you've got a fight breaking out. Not much going to go down. Almost taking Soraka out using his Nevermore in Death's Hand.
Yeah, Dice are doing their best to sit here and seize this tower. Maxwell trying to hold him off. Because like you said, I believe you're about to say the 3 inhibs, and once 3 inhibs go down, it actually spawns double super minions in all 3 waves for a total of 6, which is very strong and forces all lanes to kind of push themselves.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Even go to fight going down, Lamb's fight goes down to save. I think it's Soraka. No, Soraka exactly. Yeah, he's gonna be able to secure the Camille. Bullet time goes down, does a massive amount of damage. You can secure the kill on Lucian, get KS'd on the kill onto, I believe it was Swain, and Poo Goblins, you have to sweep it up with Dancing Arrows to take out Seraphine. And they're just going to push this tower, and I assume they're just not even going to focus this team here and just go for this and go for the Nexus. Bear form is going to be able to get the stun off, but I mean, 1v3 against that, you know, almost a 10k, you know, basically 10k gold lead. It's going to be the first game to Dias, and what a great job they did, really showing up.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a very incredible first game for Dias. Maxwell losing that early game, whereas typically that's kind of what snowballed them in for most of the season. I'm not really sure what they can do. I mean, I don't like the 2 casters in the bot lane, so maybe we can see them pick up a traditional ADC because that's been working so well for them. So maybe they can go back to that and try to win that lane against the Centric.
Definitely, I think that really hurt them having 2 casters in the bot lane. You know, just not having, they didn't have a lot of brains, they didn't have a lot of poke. I mean, they had a lot of poke potential, but they didn't have damage to back it up. They didn't have auto attack damage. You know, once they used their kit, it was gone. Yeah, what a great game.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're going to go into a quick break here while we set up this next match. The teams will be switching sides, so stick around. All right, welcome back. We got the teams ready to go. Still got with me Rockzor, We're gonna jump right into these pick bands here. Want to make sure that both these teams stay as warm as possible, so we're going to keep trying to roll these as quick as possible.
Especially after this last game, I know showed up. Maxwell's, kind of on the back foot right now, and they're ready, rearing to go at each other head to head right now for this championship games. I mean, probably what was that? Maybe like they literally went to the picks bans, and a second later, Evelyn was already banned there for Dias' side.
Yep, typical bans still going out. It looks like these teams have already planned on who they don't want to see. We might be seeing some additional bans come out on the side of Maxwell, but I don't see too many changes for bans for Dias.
I think honestly we're going to see the exact same bans as we saw last game. I would expect to see a Kindred ban go down though, because I'll be looking at his stats right now. Pupagalar has an 83% win rate on Kindred in the last month or so, and he's shown up in these last 2-3 games. I think he's played Kindred. He's shown up, and he's definitely a powerful Kindred.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a very strong jungler. I mean, we've seen him do really well on Hecarim. We've seen him do good on Rek'Sai. Now I've seen him do well on Kindred, so it is hard to focus a lot of resources on a single champion. But if that champion is doing well, or if that player is doing well with so many champions, sometimes you kind of want to put him into an uncomfortable position.
And there we have it. That top diff's going to pull out his Ornn again. Unlucky that Dias now starts off with that first pick, and they want that unkillable tank on their front line again.
Absolutely, that does leave Lucian available. Manadel picking up what we've seen time and time again. This Mordekaiser, really good early game laner. Scales really well into the late game, and again, his ultimate able to pick a target out.
He has a lot of sustain, a lot of pressure, a lot of power behind him. I mean, that's his whole thing. He smashes a mace around. Fove's gonna quickly pop that Kha'Zix. I think it looks like they're gonna try and do what they did in the last games earlier today versus Dias, and pull out that Kha'Zix 13-1 win. I don't know, with the Ornn for Dias, that could be. It's definitely hard for Kha'Zix to fight an Ornn.
Absolutely, yeah. Kha'Zix, it's not very beneficial to fight people like Ornns, Malphites, Gallios. So I mean, those champs are still available. Like the Galio's still available. Malphite's still available. So he definitely has to be careful of them building more tanky. It does look like they are opting to go for a more well-rounded team, and there goes the Galio.
I was about to say. So we were talking on the break, and I think we decided we're going to call this the Jackrabbit comp, or the Fleetfoot. And so far right now, looking at that's exactly what Dias is going to go again with. The Ornn, Misfortune, Galio. I'm not going to be surprised if I see a Kindred and a Soraka.
And there's Zed. That's actually really easy for, again, another champion. They picked Camille last time, an assassin that tries to go into the back lane. This time they're opting to go for that Zed. But I mean, Galio, all he has to do is start charging that taunt as soon as he sees the Zed ult come down, and he essentially just locks him down as soon as he shows up. Followed up by the Ornn knock-up and pretty much just massive amounts of damage. So Zed shouldn't be able to get away with too much into team fights here. Because again, like I said, just that time that it takes whenever you realize he's starting to ult, Galio should be able to counter that really easily.
And there we have it. Maxwell caught on. They're going to ban the Soraka out. And I wouldn't be surprised to either see, I'm thinking like a Seraphine or a Kindred ban, honestly. Yep.
There's Kindred.
Yeah, they are not letting Dias do this Jackrabbit comp.
Absolutely. So that does still leave Hecarim available. You still got Rammus available if they want to try and play Rammus as well, going against these AD comps. Also another champion that's really good at dishing out our CCing. That would rely more heavily on Misfortune to dish out a lot of her damage. So we'll kind of see what that happens. But there is a Jhin pick, so we are going to see a more traditional bot lane now.
Thankfully, they definitely needed it last game, and hopefully that'll serve them well this game. Looking at their comp, I mean, you got Mordekaiser, definitely, he's tanky, of course. He's definitely going to be Maxwell's tank. But you got Kha'Zix, Zed, Jhin, some fast dealing damage champions. So I wonder if they're going to be more looking to play in this. Hey, when they're rotating, let's catch them out and try to get a quick pick and get out. That's what I can. That's how what I'm thinking of when I see this team.
Absolutely. I mean, and if that's the case, I mean, last time we saw they kind of stuck together quite a bit. They didn't really separate too much. You're seeing a Nautilus come down, so there's just some more CC. I would have liked to have seen a Yumi come out here, because I mean, that kind of matches more the Soraka play style, which they did so well with in that last game.
All right, there we have our team. Wow. So definitely, I think Dice is still keeping with that Jackrabbit fun with that Vi jungler. She has a lot of mobility, a lot of, I mean, their entire team is CC minus Misfortune. Even, I mean, she is slow, so that's technically crowd control. And their entire team is made up of CC champions and frontliners.
Absolutely. Yeah, that Leona is going to make that bottom lane pretty rough if she's able to get in on that Misfortune. Her stuns and her abilities, along with that Jhin snare and damage. And Leona can kind of keep someone in place for quite a long time. So if Jhin decides to ult, safely from the back, that's something that can take place. I mean, Nautilus is typically a pretty tanky boy, but not going to be able to do too much to Leona.
Yeah, I definitely think looking at Dias is going to be hurting right now because they don't have a lot of damage. Last game you had Kindred, you had Misfortune to back up, right? But here you don't have all that much damage. You have Misfortune and then Vi, right? And then the others more like extended fight damage. On the other hand, you got Maxwell with the Kha'Zix, Zed, and Jhin and Mordekaiser. I mean, that's huge amount of damage that can be put out, even in extended fights. So definitely Leo, and I would have liked to see infos go like a maybe a Graves or a Kane, just because you get your red Kane going, and this team that they know is going to be grouped up in team fights. Kane's going to be able to land all his abilities. He's going to be able to ult into Misfortune and be untargetable for a little bit, and that could secure that kill, which would Dias would have 0 damage.
Absolutely. I think a Kane would have been a pretty decent pick into this. Someone that can kind of sustain through these tanky champions like Ornn and Galio. Kha'Zix, another champion. If he gets taunted by Galio, there's going to be so much CC. Nautilus slows, pulls, Ornn knockups, Galio knockups, Vi knockups. I mean, just take your pick. It's going to be so hard for any of these assassins to get in and do too much.
Absolutely. I really do not see Infus having a pop-off game like he did last time on Kha'Zix, solely because Vi's entire kit throughout the entire game will one-shot Kha'Zix. He gets his Vault Breaker into his ult, the name, that's a one-shot kit right there against an assassin like Kha'Zix. So I just, it kind of hurts me to see. Sadly that was second pick Kha'Zix, and Pupu Galler Vi was like the second or last pick, so he's able to counter pick. And it's, I don't think it's going to go well for him.
Absolutely, yeah. It's they're definitely gonna have to be careful. Again, they're going for this early game team comp, which I think Dias has kind of caught on to what's going on there. They were able to win the early game last, and it pretty much just shut Maxwell down. So we might be seeing a repeat of the last game, or we can see what we've seen Maxwell kind of doing all season. Whereas if they do get ahead, they're going to end up snowballing that. But like I said, maybe Dias has figured something out.
Jackrabbit worked last time. Maxwell said that they're going to continue to do whatever they do, and that until it stops working. And it looks like Dias is going to continue to do it until it stops working for them.
Absolutely.
Sorry about that. I had to take a quick cough break.
You're good.
If you get into this next, these next games are starting to load up.
Yeah, we're rolling right through these games. I've actually
Delay
run out of coffee. I'm gonna have to find a secretary to come and get some. I think she's currently being a mom right now, though. So.
Well, if she's being a mom, that means you got a bunch of little secretaries around.
That is true.
What's the point of having kids if you don't have a bunch of little secretaries?
That's right.
Dias is putting pings into this bot lane tri-bush. I wonder if they're gonna go for their standard 5-man invade, and look at what it's like, knowing that they got the dredge line from Nautilus, the pool of champions.
Absolutely, this would definitely be a team that is capable of catching somebody out and eliminating. Yeah, Leon is gonna spot him though.
Right, I was luckily spotting them out. It's gonna put down that ward, and that's gonna be nothing's gonna come from it. Man, if they had waited just a second or two more in that tri-bush, I think Cryos was gonna face check it, and that could have been a secure kill. So lost opportunity there.
It does seem like it. Yeah, I think they jumped the gun just a little bit, but I mean, when you've got someone like Nautilus, carrying around that giant anchor, you're just looking to throw it at someone.
I would hate to be Nautilus. I don't want to carry an anchor.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
Man's thighs must be huge. Talk about thick thighs, right?
Absolutely. He definitely does not skip leg day at all.
Manadel peeking so they know that they're starting on the red side for Vi. They're going to start the same side. For sure, standard cleared's going down. Teaming up. Looks like they, something else we didn't mention is that it looks like Vinga opted to go, another damage mid laner instead of a mage. So that kind of, again, that does hurt Galio, because since he won't be able to get his passive off. Top lane here we have Ornn putting down some damage with the Bellows Breath and Volcanic Rupture. Manadel is going to be able to get Darkness Rise popped off, be able to Death Grasp and obliterate it. So Ornn's going to be about an even trade, I would say. Both champs are looking low. Info known is going to come up at the top lane. Tri-bush. It's going to go straight in. Ornn still doesn't have Searing Charge, so he can get this jump.
Yeah, that was very, very good time to kind of run back there for top diff.
They're going down. We got a crash here onto this blue side. Info's trying to stop. He's gonna go in. Zed being caught out by the Galio. He's gonna be able to get this taunt off. Bellows Breath and Searing Charge are gonna go down. The enemy team looks like caught out. Maxwell's gonna have to pull back, all of them a little bit too low to fight much there. Mando going strong though, he gets low. Taunt going off, hit Kha'Zix. He's gonna be able to get the Winds of War down, secure the kill, gets the double, followed by the Colossal Smash off the Mordekaiser.
Looks like Zed is trying to run for his life. Vi's gonna be able to follow him over that wall there. He's still running, taking a couple tower shots. Will the bot lane come up to help? It does look like they're starting to path.
Living Shadow still has a couple seconds left on it. Vault Breaker's gonna go down and he's gonna get safely away, get an execute on. Good crashes by both teams. Great rotate. Really worked out in favor of Maxwell there. That percent health from Bella's Breath catching out all three. And Manadel just kind of overstepping it there, I gotta say. Dias. So they switch sides.
They have switched sides. Yeah, Maxwell barely getting away. Bang was able to get that execute off, so no additional kills going over. He is going to lose out on that experience, and now he's coming back into lane, a level down against a double buff Galio here, so there's going to be some dangerous plays.
there in the bot lane, Dredge line was able to catch out Jin, and Eccentric was able to use double up to make it range to secure the kill, but Infos came in from the jungle and was able to leap and use basically here to secure the kill there on Eccentric. A good 1-for-1 trade there in the bot lane. Ready to rotate, ready to crash in on this Kha'Zix. Here he goes. He's gonna charge. He's gonna get the taunt off. He barely makes it, but also gets the taunt. Seraphine comes in. Dredge line Zed, and they're gonna be able. Exhaust goes down to Binga, and Colossal Smash will secure the kill for Asian flip side.
And we did end up getting there was a flash that went out from that Kha'Zix to kind of keep himself alive there. Otherwise, it could have been 2 kills in favor of Dias. But now that is going to leave Kha'Zix without that flash. So as he comes in for gank, he's going to be a little bit more dangerous, especially going against these beefy kids such as this Nautilus and this Galio.
I mean, talk about any of their, name any champ on Dias, and it's a beefy champ.
Absolutely, yeah. There's not too many lanes that he's going to have an easy time against.
He's definitely going to have to go for an early Lord Dominix or guards. So, probably the best option since they don't have a lot of sustain, don't have a lot of health regeneration in fights. So Dominix are definitely a choice there.
And I'm really liking the communication on Dias here. When Kha'Zix opted to come in and try to get some plays on the blue buff there, you saw how quickly Dias collapsed on that, almost at the exact same time as Maxwell. So both these teams putting in a lot of communication, a lot of work.
Absolutely. Binga and Asian Flipside basically rotated at the same time. Binga going a little bit, a couple seconds ahead, but Asian Flipside was able to catch him out. Otherwise, that could have definitely been a turn of events if Binga was allowed to Living Shadow over and Death Mark. Shadow Slash and Razor Shuriken into a Fubu Gobbler, but the taunt and the Stresses Punch stopped him from doing so. We've got a couple trades going down in the bot lane. Ornn, having already finished a Catalyst, definitely going to be pressuring Mandel a little bit more. He's kind of a little bit tankier at this moment.
Absolutely, and that Ornn again able to use his ability to sustain in lane and just sit there and soak up that extra gold and that extra experience, forcing Mordecai back.
Great leap by Infos, who's coming in for a gank there onto Asian Flipside, but being caught out by a couple of wards there in the bottom side of River. Poop Gobbler was able, with a taunt, with a Justice Punch and a Volt Breaker, was kind of able to lock him down, but he barely got away. Now they're going to start this Ocean Drake to the first dragon. They should be able to secure it since Maxwell isn't having any rotate there too with more vision.
Yeah, both these teams staying fairly close in CS, aside from the junglers here. But none of the teams more than about 5 gold ahead of each other in these lanes here. The big difference, though, is Dias is picking up some of these kills. There were a couple barely escapes on the side of Dias, which could have swung this just a little bit more in favor of Maxwell. But they definitely need to be careful about how far they're extending themselves.
Absolutely. Even though they're 3 kills up, they're only, and a dragon gives a load of gold. They're only, roughly 1k up. It looks like we got a 4-man gank here onto Asian Flipside. Pump's gonna go down. Flash from Asian Flipside, they're gonna get pulled back with Death's Grasp. Obliterate. Finger goes in, but Death Mark does not go off. Call the 4-shot goes down, lands on the planted down. She's gonna be able to flash just Vault Breaker in. Going in now, focusing on the Zed Assault and Battery. Now they're gonna focus down onto Leona. Leona's gonna have to flash away, and Kratos will save himself with that.
And you saw that was a very good taunt, followed into basically a flash and then a dash, putting most of the team of Maxwell under that tower into a very dangerous position. Zed was not able to pick up that kill with his ultimate there.
Yeah, I will say definitely that was a great turn of events there. I mean, he had a 4-man gank there on the Asian flip side, but with his Justice Punch and taunt, was able to keep them in lane long enough for Call the Forge God to land on Menadel and Binga properly, which allowed Poo Goblin to be able to flash and Justice Punch in. And that really helped them turn the events and, you know, make it instead of a 1 for, well, I think a 1 for 3 trade, and they made it a, you know, 0, you know, trade.
Absolutely, yeah, that was crazy, crazy good on the side of Dice. Asian flip side, doing very well with his resources there.
Yeah, now I mean, Ornn, you know, looking at these items, Ornn has a Negatron cloak down. That's gonna really hurt Manadel's damage against him, and he's already just massively tanky because he's Ornn, but. You know, having, I think it's 40, I think it's 40 more. A huge boost. There we go. Bellow's Breath followed by Anchor. And Searing Charge is really hurting Menadel, just staying out of the range of Darkness Rise. You know, easily win that trade, even though he's a level down. In the bot lane, we see, you know, this wave pushing, you know, a bunch of casters, Poopa Goblin there sitting in the bush, knowing that this wave's about to push out to them. So I think we're gonna have an in-lane gank. There's infos coming in. They still don't know. Oh, there we go. Poopa Goblin goes in, Vault Breaker onto the Leona. Leona's gonna Solar Flare out to save herself and get slow, so there's no follow-up. You know, they do have Rift, and there it is. Rift is going to go down with this pushing minion wave.
And he should pick up the plates there for Dias in that bot lane.
And that's actually all, you know, all that gold is going to go straight to Poo Gobbler because of the fact that they backed away from the tower. So that's, I mean, I think that's give or take 100 to 200 gold he just got straight into his pocket.
Absolutely, yeah. Dias is slowly starting to pull away again in this game. It's that early game kills, taking a lot of these trades. Some of the aggression's not really paying off for Maxwell. Where you see in the top lane that Deathcraft's going down on Ornn, pulling him in, and Ornn had no problem taking that trade there.
Right. Following up what happened there, before this whole succeed info from this bot lane. Trade going down to mid lane. Something cost them most likely will be this bottom side tower going down. Should be the first tower of the game. Oh, now they're gonna back off, trying to rotate in, trying to crash in there on info. But they're just gonna back off there. Got a vision on Leona and Kha'Zix. Up 8-1, 12 at, you know, 13 minutes in. They're looking about, I want to say, 4K gold lead in favor of Dias right now. All setting up for this second break, which is Infernal. Leona's Zenith Blade just barely gonna miss Eccentric, who put down Make It Rain.
And it does look like Dias is looking to take this dragon. It looks like it will be contested by Maxwell. They are kind of skirting around it. They may be opting to back off for it and just let Dias have this again. That didn't really work out in their favor in the last game.
Luckily, it is only the second break. Now, you know, if they are able to fight the next few, they could get all 4 mountain breaks, which, you know, would be huge.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing that they don't want to happen. They don't want a tanky team to become tankier.
But in the bot lane, we have a skirmish come down. Looks like we got a TP from Asian flip side. Gets the taunt off. Gets that second TP actually from Ornn as well. Gets the call of the Forge God, but does not connect. And looks like Poopa Gobbler has come down and using Vault Breaker was able to secure the kill on Leona. That's going to be the first turret of the game in the bot side.
Absolutely, yeah, that double teleport. Did Gallia teleport? He did, yeah. So I wasn't sure if Gallia teleported or used his ult to get into that fight there. But and it looks like they're going to go ahead and pick up the kill in the mid lane as well.
Hey, Dice does not even care anymore. There's, he's a flip side 4-0. I mean, he's got his Hestech and his Ninja Tabby and Cloth Armor. He's pretty tanky. He's looking pretty tanky at this point.
Absolutely. Dice up about 5k gold here, just 5.5 at the 15-minute mark. That's very significant. And Maxwell can barely find themselves going anywhere on this map, especially playing these assassin type team. It's very hard for them to deal too much damage without getting caught by these tanks.
I mean, this comp is definitely working out in Dice's favor right now. These past 2 games. Luckily, 11-1, as you said, about 6k gold out. We got Rift coming up about 15 seconds, and both teams are actually starting to get wards down, starting to kind of lean towards this Rift Herald side.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful trying to take this Rift against this Vi, though, who's currently 5-0. A lot of damage. He's almost 30 CS now on this Kha'Zix. Dishing out massive amounts of damage to this neutral camp here.
Mid tower is going to go down from Eccentric. Pushing this wave there, and there you have the Rift Herald getting started out by Super Scholar. You will be able to secure it uncontested. I mean, with that first mid turret down, that's if played right, this Rift Herald could lead them directly into Maxwell's base right now. In this next charge. Your Vault Breaker into Assault and Battery onto the Ornn. Manadel is going to be able to use Realm of Death and negate the ult from Seraphine with Depth Charge. Bullet time going down. Huge below the call of the Forge God is going to catch off Jhin there. Seraphine's still going in. Dredge line to Jhin. Make It Rain goes down. It's just going to be able to pick up the kill with an auto attack.
Yeah, it was a very, very nice Call of the God there, or Call of the Forge God. Getting that stun down on that Jhin, giving Nautilus just enough time to get in there and get that Dredge line down.
Absolutely, and I mean, I had to take a second to laugh. Manadel did a great job, though. Seraphine, after being assault and battered by Vi, we got a fight. Dredge line's gonna land right onto Zed, and 4 tanks, too much. But there we go. Now Lem's being called out. They're focusing her down. She gets secure the double kill.
Yeah, this team just has so much CC. Once you get caught out by one, it's so hard to escape.
I know. I mean, if you want to move, like you're not moving for it, no matter what.
And it looks like they're going to end up turning back on that there.
Misfortune. Should not use double up, I think. Pushing Jhin off. I mean, this is hard. I think Maxwell's picks in this game in these last 2 games, honestly, has been hurting. They're opting for a lot of damage, but not a lot of CC. And into a very CC damage, they need people who can more, sustain in fights and more last in fights as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it's getting a little late. Maxwell, this is not typical of what we've seen this entire season. It seems like Dice, like I said, they didn't have a lot of time to put in any practice. Often to play tonight over tomorrow afternoon. So I'm not sure, but Maxwell's going to need to come back to their old roots and bring back that team again, that team synergy that they had, if they're hoping to win this season.
And here we have the 3rd Drake Mountain going, spawning up, and nobody on Maxwell is even close. They got pushed away because they know they can't fight, and they're easily going to be able to do this. Gobbler just, really, doing that Vi. I mean, it was 100% a counter pick. He counter picked against Kha'Zix, knowing that Kha'Zix doesn't do anything to Vi, and and it's showing. It's a 9-0 Vi.
Absolutely, yeah, that Vi is very strong in this game. The ultis that have been going down from that Vi have been really good at locking down, catching out. I think they've used them twice for sure on the Zed as he's trying to escape, and I believe I've seen once on this Kha'Zix as he was diving away.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, and if you look at the rune pages of all these teams, you have Seraphine, you have the Nautilus, Galio, and Ornn all having flanking on the green runes. You know, you got Grasp of the Undying on Ornn. Yeah, I want to say Grasp of the Undying as well. Sorry, Aftershock, and in the other hand, Aftershock. So, you know, you got very just tanky. They're going to continue to scale up, continue to be tanky, continue to gather armor, you know, during fights.
Absolutely, yeah, and tanky is a relative term, I believe, with the way that these champions look. They're dishing out so much damage, still while taking so much as well. But it's so hard to just like sit here and watch this Ornn underneath this tower take 5-6 shots, and still capable of putting down as much damage as he is.
Soul Flare is going to go down. Hey, the flip side, options to use his Zanya's a little bit early there, but that flash from the Sentry is going to be turned into a bullet time. Actually going to barely live, taking 2 turret shots and kill him with the mark of the death mark from Zed. But what a great fight. I mean, flash, bullet time, hitting all 4 champions whether they were stunned or slowed or knocked up. It's huge.
Yeah,
It's 3 kills.
At this point, they can kind of afford to take some of those crazy risks right there, flashing under the tower for bullet time. Almost a little disrespectful, but ends up dishing out so much damage, eliminating 4 members on the side of Maxwell. It's going to kind of secure this tower and possibly this inhib as well.
Yeah, you want to talk about disrespect? They just 4-man that tower with no minions. You know, they know how tanky they are. They know that they can just eat turret shots all day. It looks like the ice now is going to reset. Reset. I mean, not many objectives are up on the map other than Baron at this time. They got, you know, these towers yet again pushed. One inhib down, top inhib open to take. And,
absolutely, yeah. You can see they spent so much time on Maxwell's side. The jungle's basically cleared out that they've got to come back and spend some time on their own.
And once again, this little Jackrabbit comp that they're, you know, a champion that they're using is really working out in their favor. I mean, you know, they're not really playing for, you know, if you watch this entire game, they're not really getting picks. You know, they're not getting like finding them caught out in the jungle. They're just fighting them under turrets. They're just fighting them at the objectives.
Absolutely, yeah. Most of the time, it's anytime they kind of see him, they're just able to engage so heavily, and just the sheer amount of damage and tankiness that they have alone, they can just kind of stick inside these team fights.
Here we go. They started with Baron, but Maxwell has no vision of it. Because you know, they're not going to be able to do it. I mean, not everyone could do anything at this time about it. They're not even going to attempt to get the mess. Kha'Zix being roughly 5 levels down now to this fight. I mean, that has to hurt. As a jungler, I mean, as anybody, that has to hurt.
Absolutely, and that's one of the downsides of playing an assassin. You know, it's kind of like one of those high risk, high rewards. You pick someone like Kha'Zix, you're hoping to get ahead, you're hoping to get in there, but if your lanes aren't able to kind of provide you any of that buffer, the ability to use that assassin capabilities, you get behind so fast because, I mean, your goal isn't to sit there and clear out jungle camps all game.
Dredge line is going to catch Zed off of, you know, using what the shot is going to get away. Too fast for you to tell what just happened to Mandel, but let's just say he got bursted down. Depth charges are going to go down because Jin is going to be too far away for them to back it up. Jin is also going to use Curtain Call, but at that time, Dias has already escaped before he can do much damage. You're looking at 1 turret left. And only assume Dias here is going to start focusing the bot lane soon enough. Trying to do exactly what they did last game. They're going to have the mid top in him down. I mean, I just want to mention real quick. Let's just talk about how tanky, how just massive, and how thick Ornn of a champion is at level 13. He's already sitting at 3.5k health. And this is going to be an uncontested and secured mountain soul.
Absolutely, yeah. And this soul is just stacking on the tankiness that was already on the side of Dias.
I mean, I'm sorry, but 263 armor and 187 magic resist for Ornn. Can anything deal damage to him at this point?
Absolutely, and we're looking at, I click on Vi here, yeah, pretty much all of them are looking at about 250 damage shield, even over on, Misfortune 248, both, so that shield is going to be really strong, just going in with that little bit of extra health, and then, yeah, of course, the extra armor that they're getting. That's crazy. 12% additional armor and magic resist on top of that attack power that they're getting. So these dragons are definitely faring really well for them.
Completely. They're 20 kills up. They're about 15k gold lead at this point now. Maxwell's definitely having a tough time these past 2 games. And here, as I called earlier, there we have Dias coming to push this bot lane tower. You know, with a Baron buff, meaning they should be able to. There we go. Someone's battery going right down. Looks at Jin. Bullet's gonna go down. Catches Fiona and Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser's gonna take Vi into their own death. He's gonna have to design this to get out, but he's not. I don't think he's gonna be able to survive that. Too much CC. Really be a pure kill. I think it was a double there for triple. I apologize. Triple there for Citric. And most likely, you know, they're both teams at home for GG. Yeah, 4 meters down, and it's both in his bound.
Absolutely, and that's going to be a 25-minute Nexus kill here. Not the fastest we've seen, but still with teams of these caliber, you don't really expect to see such a quick game going out. I was really hoping to see more of a fight between these two, but Dias, I don't know. I guess they had breakfast for dinner or something because they're definitely showing up right now.
I mean, not much to say on that game, honestly. I mean, they did exactly the same thing as they did last game. They had the little Jackrabbit comp, and you know, they did what they said they'd do.
All right, yeah, what an incredible showing that was. 2 for Dias in this best of 5. If Dias can squeak out one more, they will end up taking this season. We're gonna have to see what Maxwell can pull out, see if they can get back into this game and give us a set of 5. But we'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Here we are into this third game of 5. Dice is now up 2 games while Maxwell sitting at 0. Maxwell will have the first pick for this upcoming game. We've seen Dice do basically the exact same team comp for these last 2 games, so hopefully Maxwell is going to have something to counteract that. I am Rockazor. With me today is Silament, and in a couple, I'm assuming in a couple of matter of seconds, we're going to get this thing rolling into the picks and bans. I mean, I'm honestly blown away. Maxwell definitely not playing how they've been this entire season, and Dias really showing up today. They carried that. They carried that quick win into something completely different. For now, here we are into the picks and bans now. There we go. We see it. We got to. Hopefully, I fix it in a couple seconds. Here we go. We see the Galio ban coming down. That's definitely understandable for Asian Flipside has easily been dominating in the mid lane, and in the team fights with that Justice Punch and Taunt. Dias doing the same thing, banning an Evelyn. We are into the second pick, man. They're taking their time for these picks, definitely, rather than I think. And there we see it, the Kindred, trying to take that away from the Gobbler on this Jackrabbit team comp. Understandably, we got the Darius down from Dias. That's they're so far they're doing the exact same bans they've done this entire these last 2 games. Maxwell's definitely switching up their bans from normal. They're taking out the Galio, the Kindred, taking longer than usual for both teams, I'd say. But,
I'm back.
And there we have it. It's gonna be a Soraka ban, understandable again. Like that first game, Soraka was a great ally to Dias with her heals, her silence, her slows. There we have the Pantheon ban come down for the third ban from Dias. Not much to say there. And
absolutely, yeah. It does look like Maxwell is essentially either banned or picked out now 4 of the champions from that Jackrabbit team comp that we've seen in these past 2 games.
Mm-hmm. That first pick, Ornn. I know that they're glad to have it. Nanodell was showing up earlier today with an Ornn, and they definitely don't want, Top Diff to have it. He's gonna secure in that Malphite as well. Basically, not the exact same, but pretty similar kind of play style as the Ornn. Poopoo Goblin's gonna be flashing the Caitlyn pick for Centric. Coming down to 1 second here. We'll be locking that in.
And that is one of the things I do like about, the picks bans, right? You kind of have to decide what you want to ban out. Caitlyn being such a powerful ADC ends up getting picked over, and then again Ashe getting picked. So we're seeing more of these meta ADCs being able to get picked out now.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just in the last 2 games, that second round bans from Dynasty, usually when they banned out the Ashe. I know Shiraz has been wanting his Ashe, so they picked that early this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely looks like they're putting a little more focus onto that bot lane, possibly. Vladimir looks like he might be in the mid lane, an extremely strong mid laner, very hard to overcome his sustainability.
Mm-hmm. Mostly, the early game is where you want to catch him, but yeah, mid to late game, he can easily survive throughout any fight.
Absolutely. I'm definitely liking the picks over on Dias. Morgana, one of the more powerful supports. Caitlyn, a more powerful ADC. Of course, Malphite, typically really strong going into AD comps. But it already looks like they've picked out the Vladimir in the mid as opposed to an ADC such as the Lucian or the Zed. Ornn has already been picked out for his AP damage. And if it continues to go this way, they might have more AP damage, but they've definitely got a better mix this time, where it kind of limits the capabilities of Malphite or the usefulness of Malphite.
Absolutely, and especially with the ban that they just Maxwell just banned Yasuo, who's him and Malphite have great synergy. So that's gonna be really. I think I think that was a pretty good ban to see, because I was definitely gonna say, you know, Yasuo would be a good pick for Dice to have.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with the Yasuo, so I'm not sure how well that really fares against champions such as Vlad. Uh, but Vlad, again, usually being one of those that can kind of get away with quite a bit of stuff, a little bit of over aggressive play styles.
Absolutely, and there you see the Rek'Sai, seeing as the mid laner and the jungler from Dice have not been picked out, so they're trying to cut down on what they could pick there. So they would have an Orianna for mid lane.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. I definitely like that Orianna pick in the mid lane. I mean, they're still kind of they've got a pretty decent amount of damage. Malphite kind of holds his own a little bit in the damage. Caitlyn very strong, and then of course Morgana being a very strong damage dealer as well. Orianna kind of buffs that up. I would like to see a little bit more mobility kind of on the side of Dice. They're going from this like hyper mobility to a little more slow oriented champions. They probably could have picked like a Kassadin going in, which would have worked really well against this Vladimir, this Ashe. But
yeah,
still,
Charis took the Hecarim, and I was, speaking of the mobility, I agree. Their Vi is decent, but I would have liked to see a Hecarim for Dias solely because you have a Malphite alt, or if you can do an Orianna alt into a Malphite alt into a Hecarim, right? That's a lot of AoE damage, and then Hecarim can just go in there and be his little blade that he is and just swing his Q around. So would have popped him pretty low there.
absolutely. This Taric is going to be very critical in this fight as well, especially with the Malphite, the Orianna, the Morgana, and kind of that Vi damage. Getting a key Taric ult off will negate a lot of that damage and waste a lot of the abilities on Dias, and will swing a team fight basically just all by itself.
I definitely agree with you there. If they stay clumped together, the cosmic gradients will definitely play a big part in keeping them alive. Yeah, definitely. Dias definitely switched it up this game. They only have Malphite and Vi being kind of their more tankier champions there, right? Where these last couple of games. I mean, last game they had 4 tanks, and the game before they had like 3 tanks, so like 2 or 3. So definitely a big switch up here.
Absolutely. I mean, the Nautilus was still available this round, so that still would have been an option for them. I mean, the Misfortune wasn't banned out, and I mean that worked really well for them in both the last games. I'm not sure why. Maybe they opted not to go for the Nautilus play style, which I think would also would still work really well with that Orianna. Because I mean, Orianna does really well, and if anybody can basically deliver her ball in, it's really helpful. That way she can kind of sit back a little bit further and still be able to get her ulti off.
Yeah, I mean, though Caitlyn's definitely a strong pick in this matchup versus Ashe and Tara. Misfortune would have been useful, I think, in the team comp setting wise, solely because of just the AOE damage. If she uses bullet time in cohesion with Orianna's ulti, be able to pull it, clump the enemy team together, you could get a lot of damage from bullet time. But the Caitlyn is going to be just as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So she will be able to try and get some of these picks off. Again, Morgana being really strong. If she lands a snare, there's going to be a lot of damage that goes out onto the Ashe or onto the Taric or Vlad, wherever they land. Also, really key is that Morgana is going to be very useful against this Hecarim if she's able to kind of get that slow off or get the snare off. I apologize. And of course, with Caitlyn utilizing her safety net to try and use that slow and possibly get her a little bit of distance away from Hecarim.
Absolutely, yeah. If she snares him on time, you can easily just, if he uses E too early and then she's snared, I mean, his E's wasted at that point. And that's, where a huge part of his damage comes into play.
Absolutely. Yep. So this is definitely going to be a different kind. I don't see either of these teams doing anything different. I'm pretty sure they're both going to still be very aggressive. whereas we don't see too many assassins on Maxwell, where we have seen nothing but assassins lately coming from Maxwell.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is definitely. It's. I mean, as we both said, it's definitely gonna be a different game. The early game's gonna be a lot different too. I think yes, there'll still be some good rotates, some good crashes, but I think bot lane they're gonna really focus on this CS game, and the mid lane Oriana, one of the great wave clear definitely is a big CSer. So you just got it looks like they're gonna be more focused on CS more than crashing into these objectives. I'm thinking.
Oh yeah.
I don't think the game is going to spiral as quickly as it has these last two games. Since you said it, they're Dias. Maxwell has a little bit more mobility, but Dias doesn't have much mobility on their team this go around. Here we get it, finally coming out of the streamer delay. We're going to move into this waiting phase as the game loads up and the players get into it.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
30-second mark here, we have Dias actually taking a 5-man front rather than going for their standard 5-man invade.
30 seconds until minions
Yeah, it's a
spawn.
little different. Maybe they're trying to play a little safer, hoping to win and tie up this season. I mean, they only need one more to win this best of 5. So I'll see. I'd like to see how this is actually going to play mentally with them, whether or not it's going to kind of make them play a little safer, hoping to just secure this last win, or if they're just going to go for it all, knowing that they have a couple games to lose if they need to.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was expecting the Jackrabbit comp this game, but then a thought occurred to me that they don't have first pick, and definitely Manidel's going to take the Ornn. So I think Ornn probably is what they revolved their Jackrabbit comp around too, because of just how much tank and CC that he provides. Because they definitely switched up this game.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, I mean, if they lose this match, they'll definitely be switching sides again going into that first pick. So they will be able to pick up a couple of those extra champions. They'll be able to get the Ornn if that's what they would like to get. Just any of those other key components that they may want.
Definitely. It looks like we have an opposite start from the jungler, so they're not going to be facing off at the scuttle. So we'll probably see either a bot or mid lane gain from the Poo Gobbler, and then info is probably where we should see a top of the mid game. That's later on. Not even, not much happening across the board. Honestly, no trades are going down. No, you have a couple auto posts. Not, nothing much really other than that. Which is definitely a difference from last game.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a little bit more of a save kind of farm it up lanes currently. Nobody's really going in too hard on one another. We do see Vi slowly starting to roam down to the bot lane here. See if she can get anything. That ward is going to catch her out.
There we have Manabel though, using Volcanic Rupture as much as he can to poke Malphite off, trying to stop him from being able to catch some farm. Top lane. And really shoving this wave down there in the top lane straight to Malphite's face, getting on her tower, trying to move as much harm as possible. Belly's Brett's going to go down. Not going to be able to pop Griddle though, once it's Malphite. We have info going for a little invade, trying to cut Cuckoo Gobbler off. Most likely they're gonna barely miss her though. Oh, there he does. He doesn't catch her out. Goes in with devastating charge, but Vault Breaker's gonna stop that from happening. Pops it off, being cut off by Asian flip side. He doesn't have to go. Have to get out there. Vladimir does pop down Sanguine Pool to keep them away though. And Info's really gonna leave it life. Looks like Cuckoo Gobbler's gonna rotate around, knowing that he's gonna go to the Raptor. He's gonna start to charge up Vault Breaker. No vision though, he's not gonna be able to land it. And there we have Binga going around, starting to channel Tides of Blood, Transfusion going down. Ghost coming down from Info, flash from Cuckoo Gobbler. We'll see the first blood as Agent Flipside also flashed over and was able to use Command Attack. And this was Tides of Blood and Sanguine Pool. Binga will be able to secure the kill on by. Rotate from the bot lane will be Alcentric and Seraphine to start poking down this carry. Ash coming in though, flashes over, going for Rihanna using Ranger's Focus to secure that kill. Eccentric not losing sight of Ash. I don't know why he didn't continue to auto attack. He definitely could have secured the kill there.
Yeah, there was a very easy kill on that Ash. Something happened. I'm actually gonna roll the camera back.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. There was a little bit of misplay, and then whatever happened at the top, our eyes were focused there on that bot fight. Manadel probably was able to secure a kill there on this Malphite. So this, here's a game we see it. We saw it earlier today. Maxwell now is showing up. Where Dice without that Foot Force team starting to hurt. The top diff is going to use teleport, trying to get that speed to catch back up to Manadel, but with Volcanic Rupture, he will be able to stop him 40% slow. After a reset, Dice is now starting this first dragon. So, caught out by the Morgana snare, followed by the trap from Caitlyn. We'll be able to. Morgana's gonna, I think, probably autoed on accident to secure that kill, and they're also gonna take the first one. I think that was a little bit of misplay by Infos. He should have, they were 2v4. I think that he should have just given it up, let them take it, and move on to clear the penalty camp. Slight misplay there, but it's not gonna hurt you too much.
Yeah, I tried to roll it back. I was thinking that maybe that Caitlyn got stunned, or maybe the ward was caught out. But unfortunately, I think it was just a misclick for whatever reason. Ended up losing that targeting there, and yeah, absolutely cost Eccentric his life. Where that was a very, very easy kill on that Ashe there.
Absolutely, yeah. I looked at, I rolled it back for a second as well, and Dazzle barely missed him, so it just caught me off guard.
Yeah, there for a second I thought that maybe the Dazzle had actually connected, but yeah, no, he got out of it. He just opted to start shooting Terra.
Here we have Cuckoo Gobbler going in on Manadel. Manadel does not have Searing Charge. He's going to be able to get Vault Breaker off, followed by Assault and Battery, but teleport from Vladimir immediately goes into Tides of Blood. We'll be able to secure the kill for the 1-for-1 trade. That was a great teleport by Vladimir there into that top lane. Great job on trading 1-for-1. And now you can kind of CS that lane a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like he's going to go ahead and take some minion waves, push that tower up under there. That way it can reset on its own.
That's definitely going to call. Oh, here we have mid lane. It's like Info's trying to set something up, but will not be able to do anything. Actually, it looks like they're switching lanes. Maxwell, maybe? No, they were just switching for a second. Manadel will be pathing back up to the top lane. But yeah, I mean, this is looking good for Binga's Vladimir right now, I will say, because Vladimir is definitely a champ where if he kind of gets, 1 death, 2 deaths early game, it's going to take him the entire game to come back and deal a lot of damage. But this 2-kill lead that he has, he already bought Candle Gem and Fiendish Codex and an Amplifying Tome with a Dark Seal. That's a lot of damage he can deal right now, and that looks really great for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Both these teams really putting in a lot of work against one another. Neither one really giving up any unnecessary deaths other than the one we had seen earlier, which was just a misclick. But they're doing really well with kind of keeping their boundaries and not overextending too much against one another this far.
Absolutely. Yeah, and even this bot lane is playing it super safe. Only one death out of all 4 of them. And that's from that mid lane fight that happened that we were talking about earlier. So definitely super safe. Really safe at that top and mid. That really beating out right now.
Absolutely. There's not really a lot that this Malphite can do against this Warren. Definitely just needs to kind of to CS and stay relevant in this game. That way, when the team fights start coming, he can secure some additional kills for his team.
There we have devastating charge, amazing crystal arrows and catch down. Cuckoo Gobbler, devastating charge, followed by the onslaught of shadows. Cuckoo Gobbler's gonna have to flash it from the wall breaker route, but he's not gonna be able to catch out as Ash rotates down for that bot lane tri-bush and is gonna secure the kill. So that was a great crash right there. I don't know if you were able to catch it.
Yeah, and other than River, Vi almost, I think if she would have opted to go for that wall, she could have lived, but she used that ball breaker to go right into Ash, where Ash was, like you said, able to pick up that kill. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, great arrow from Shira. That crystal arrow. I don't know how he landed it, but he definitely led very well. I know in the Air Force we shoot a lot of guns, so I guess he's been practicing on the range. Maybe the target.
Not possible.
In the mid lane, though, we have Asian flip side opting to use Shockwave once a Binga. Binga is down with no singles, which he did catch it full on. But I mean, he's just healing up from transfusion. I mean, he was down to a quarter health, and now he's full health again, battering down Asian flip side, punishing him for saying, "Hey, you can't touch me. How dare you?"
Absolutely, yeah, Vlad. The sustain on Vlad is so incredible. You definitely want to get him Morelios or some type of healing reduction almost as soon as possible. Because as the game starts to scale, that it's just going to become more and more relevant.
Absolutely. I know. I personally would never mess with Dracula nor Vampire, so I don't know why Oriana is trying to, poke fun with them right now.
I mean, she's a robot. She's probably programmed that way.
But here we go. Maxwell trying to make up for that lost first dragon and secure this Infernal Soul. They have all 5 people here in the bot lane surrounding it. Manadel there just in case. Ready to down. But Dias is gonna let them have it free. I'm not gonna risk anything. About pretty even in goal. Only about 1K, 1.5 up or so in the favor of Maxwell. They're definitely doing a better job in this game of focusing on getting the objectives. In the last 2 games, they kind of let Dias, do whatever you want objective-wise.
Absolutely, yeah. Both teams kind of holding their own against these, like you said, the objectives. We've only gotten 2 plates taken down in the mid lane, but for the most part, there hasn't been a lot of damage dealt to any tower.
There we have Vi and Malphite teaming up to take out this Rift Arrow real quick. Knowing that, hey, we gave them dragon, so we have to secure this. Because, I mean, that's what you want to do. As a jungler, if the enemy gets the dragon, might as well go take the Rift Arrow. So,
absolutely.
There we have nothing. Definitely, I don't know. Definitely questionable. I would have thought that Malphite would have used Unstoppable Force following into the Bolt Break from Gobbler, but it didn't actually go down and happen. I was getting ready. I was prepping myself to shot call it.
Oh yeah, I mean he does have teleport available, so he could be looking to make the play down to the bot lane here, which would be really good, especially with what we see kind of currently going on. You've got Infovis kind of sitting down there looking to perform a gank.
I mean, he's been sitting there, I think, for the last 20 seconds. I mean, which is understandable. He doesn't have much because his camp's up, his top side's up. But I mean, I know he really wants to spiral this 2-0 Ash as much as possible. So I mean, he's 30, 40 seconds now. He's just been sitting there. Crystal Arrow does go down. He's gonna go into Unstoppable Force and he quickly get the kill there on Morgana. not a clue about that. That ward in the bush there. There's a flash from Caitlyn. I'm just secure the kill on Shira's, but the heal's going to go down. Saber and Tarek will be able to secure the kill using Dazzle. Now looking to crash in on this Vi. Info pops goes in, then goes into devastating charge. Something battered goes down by Vi, but he's out of getting slowed from Shiraz's volley, and he's going to pick up a double there for Hecarim.
Yeah, you can see that Hecarim ping into his team that he was going to follow that Vi through the jungle after he found him a little too pushed up.
There in the top lane, Call of the Forge God goes down, but right as it landed on top of Malphite unstoppable forced it, knocked up Orange to take about 2 to 3 turret shots, and they did a little 1-for-1 trade there as Orange used Bellows to secure his
yeah, absolutely. A lot of resources used up there. Both Optin used their ultimates and their teleports. Pretty much just giving it all to take one another out. Yeah, so this bot lane needs to be careful of any more of those engages. I mean, that was a very good arrow by Ashe. It just does so much damage and allows the team to just jump in on that Morgana.
An arrow that can go up. I think it starts at 1 second. It can go up to 2.5 seconds stun. That can be huge, especially with the onslaught of shadows. About 1 second, 2 seconds. There we have. He's gonna go in using devastating charge to catch off Gobbler, and got a TP down from Malphite. Malphite's gonna be caught out though, a little bit late there. Onslaught of shadows back into devastating charge to catch Malphite. Being just keep quickly following it up with Kairos. Secure himself yet another kill using Tides of Blood.
Yeah, this is definitely a different Maxwell team. They're definitely coming alive in this third round, or this third match. It's pretty incredible watching how their teamwork is kind of coming back together. They're catching Dias out quite a bit.
In the bot lane, Bingo chooses to TP. Seraphine throws out his snare, but quickly Sanguine pulls that. There's Manadale using his charge, and Bellows Breath. Call of the Forge Guard goes down to secure the kill on Morgana. Bingo using Transfusion at the I forget what it's called, but max, basically whenever he's red, he can deal a bunch of damage. The empowered version, let's get the kill on tape. That's gonna be second turret down in the top lane. Looks like Manadale's just staying here in the bot lane, just pushing these waves as fast as possible, using Bellows and Volcanic Rupture, and try to push his tower down as much as possible. Pings are starting to go down for this dragon. A couple of wards are placed. Both team trees, really wanting an Ocean Soul. I think it's 3 oceans. I want to say 2.5% health heal, so either team can definitely use it in this time.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Absolutely. Yeah, both teams kind of skirting around this. I mean, Dias has the slight advantage, already being in the pit right here, but of course they are down in kills and gold, so they need to be careful.
They definitely do. I do think that, clearly secure, but I don't think. Oh, we have a TP from Manadale. Looks like they're onslaught of shadows, catch all 4 of them off. Cosmic Radiance goes down. He's going to keep going on to the Caitlyn now. Transfers the Gobbler onto this Vi. Call of Forge God goes down, knocks him out. Just came in time. That was just down, so he came up at the perfect time. Swinging a double there for Infos, as well as Transfusion from Bingo will secure the kill on the Asian Club side.
Yeah, and there's just so much speed and precision from Maxwell. That Tarek ult lasting what seems like a decade whenever you're sitting there waiting to use your abilities, and Hecarim is just running all over you. It's very hard to sit there and just take all that damage while you're waiting for that shield to drop.
Devastating charge from Infos. They're trying to tower dive this thing, and luckily, even though devastating charge was not able to land, it landed on the minion set. Cryos' Dazzle was able to catch him, so that should be a secure. We're gonna secure the tower. It looks like Eccentric and Morgana were able to stop that wave. But yeah, I mean, that Cosmic Radiance just lasts for so long, and it's invulnerability. I mean, how do you even deal with that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's 2.5 seconds of it doesn't even work like Tryndamere, you know, where like he just goes down below a certain health, or like Kindred. It's literally they don't take any damage for 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's can't be targeted, can't be, you know, snares don't work against them, and that's actually looking at it. I mean, that works amazingly well with Infos on Hecarim. I mean, you Cosmic Radiance Hecarim can put, you know, charge up his devastating charge into Onslaught of Shadows, and literally nothing's able to stop him.
Absolutely, yeah. He was just running in so hard. That's what I was saying. Like for 2.5 seconds, Hecarim is just stomping around.
Literally stomping.
Yeah, I don't even know what weapon you would call that. A spear, scythe, thingy-majig. Maybe someone in chat knows what Hecarim's wielding.
I think it's technically a polearm, but I don't know exactly what type.
There we go. Polearm.
I don't know what type of polearm, but it's definitely a polearm for sure. But he's just gonna rampage with it.
Halberd. Maybe.
Talking about weapons here on the champion. Yeah. Looks like Master's gonna push. There we go. Ghost going down. It's a devastating charge. He pulls on Onslaught of Shadows. Fulgurite goes down, and massive damage from that. Fulgurite landing both on Orianna and onto Malphite. Malphite's going to use unstoppable force to get back into the teams. Flash go down from Agent flip side, but he's going to go back in. Bellows will secure the kill into an Ash Auto. Now they're going to go onto Malphite. Vladimir using transfusions will be able to secure the kill. Now they're going to push onto mid tower and be able to secure that amazing ace. Hecarim is now moving to the spot lane, clearing the wave, pushing this tower. They're pushing mid and bottom tower at the same time. Most likely should be able to take an inhibitor.
Yeah, they're down about 13,000 gold at 21 minutes. If I was nice, I would just try to take this game lightly, try to get your head into the next game. Don't stress yourself too much more on this one.
Yeah, this definitely working in Maxwell's favor. They're definitely showing up. I mean, they only one tower down. They've definitely got their revenge. You know, they were probably a little bit PO'd there from these first two games, and so now they're showing up with what they had this morning. You know, they got together.
Yeah.
They're working on.
Yeah,
you know.
This is definitely the Maxwell that we've seen throughout the season. So I would like to see Dice come back with a comp that they were winning with, something that felt what looked like a little more comfortable. They're kind of all over the place a little bit here. They are getting caught out quite a bit. We've seen a couple of misclicks. I'm not sure if that's nerves or what had happened there. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of this just isn't really working out. We haven't been able to see too much of the Orianna Malphite combo. And of course that's due to this Taric, that invulnerability for his team is just crazy whenever you're trying to do these massive AoE team comps.
Absolutely, and I mean, you know, Hemo play come from Binga. Binga's 10-0 with a fully stacked Medjais. It's 25. It's a, you know, he's looking at 145 ability bonus ability power from that. As his dragons coming up here in just a few seconds, Binga's gonna catch off Seraphine, make him flash to get out. He's gonna then Zanya, he's gonna cruise the Goblin go down. And Shanks' arrow is gonna be able to land. He's gonna tides of blood into the thing. He's gonna be taken down. Probably gonna be able to secure the kill onto Orianna then on the bye, with barely escaped, you know, making out with his life there. I definitely thought he was gonna go down.
Yeah, you saw the Ashe dive in, basically dive in the back line. Trying to 1v1 that Caitlyn there. Yeah, it's not a good sight to see when the ADC is pushing through and forcing 3 people in a 3v1 to kind of back off.
Yeah, and that's going to be game, folks. You know, 2-1 now. You know, Maxwell quickly taking this game to the 24-minute mark is what I'm going to call it, because I like numbers like that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say he just 1v5. I'll be honest there. He definitely went into a 1v3 situation and came out on top.
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna take a very quick break while we set this next game up, and we'll jump right back into it. Currently, Dias 2-1. All right, and welcome back. Going into Game 4, currently Dias up 2 against Maxwell's 1. Maxwell has been the #1 seed this entire season, looking to secure the win. So we're going to jump right into Champ Select and see if Dias can go ahead and pull this off. They opted for an awkward team comp, one that they didn't win the first 2 games with. Well, not awkward, but just one that they didn't win. They still had some very strong champs, a Caitlyn and a Morgana, which didn't really work out too well against that Ashe, who was just showing such a dominant presence in the bot lane. And of course, first ban going out is going to be that Evelynn. Of course, just getting rid of that Evelyn's such a strong pick in the jungle. And then Galio getting banned out, preventing Dias from picking that up. Galio being a very dominant champion in the first 2 games.
Absolutely. I think Maxwell, of course, last game banned out that little Jackrabbit comp coming from Dias, and I think they're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm expecting to see an Ornn ban come down. Just keep that. Ooh, man.
You call it, yeah. There's the Ornn ban.
I don't want to toot my own. I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot a little bit.
So it definitely still leaves a lot of champions available for Dias. They still have quite a few. This may leave the Rek'Sai open, depending on whether or not they're going to ban this Rek'Sai out.
I'm thinking, my guess is gonna be a Kindred or something. MF, Kindred or MF is my guess, or Soraka. One of those 3 is my guess. Just solely because they, just like last game, they banned out their little team comp. They're trying to stop that Jackrabbit.
Yeah, you can see him using every second available to him to have this discussion.
Oh, interesting.
I was not expecting that. Malphite really didn't show too much of a presence. Of course, going against the Ornn, which they had banned out themselves.
Exactly. So they're gonna get that Rek'Sai pick off actually, which we know Gobbler can deal some damage on his Rek'Sai. So I'm honestly, I'm kind of smiling right now. because he showed up in the earlier season with it. So I'm glad to see that in this possible final game, it might not be, but it could be the possible final game for championship. That he gets to play it. Being opting to go for his Vladimir yet again after I think it was like 12-0 in the end of that game there. Completely understandable.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a very, very strong pick. That Vladimir pick did really well. So I mean, there are champions obviously that can do really well. I do believe Asian Flipside has played Kiana in the past, where Kiana is one of those champions that's really good at competing against Vladimir's damage.
Yeah, she's a great first potential. Yeah, we have a Tarek there for infos, of course. I mean, as we talked about it, we harped on it so much last game that Cosmic Radiance is, I mean, it's hard to deal with.
Absolutely, it really is. And Asian Flipside is going to pick up the Yasuo, kind of a reverse. They're picking up all these AD champions.
Yeah, they took away the Ash. They got that Yasuo. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of Rek'Sai's abilities does cause a knockout. Oof, that is tough to see, I will say. Samira coming out there for Maxwell.
That is going to be a very strong pick, especially with that Tarek.
It's a cough broken. But yeah, I mean, Yasuo. I'm not 100% certain if Rek'Sai does cause a knockup, but that could work well together. Taking away the Nautilus there.
And that's a good ban, that Hecarim ban. Hecarim was the Hecarim Tarek last game was again, just allowing Hecarim free reign of the battlefield anytime he was in the fight.
Allowed him to quickly go in. I mean, looks like Maxwell opted to just go for, hey, we're not giving them any tanks this game. I mean, they're just trying to. I mean, of course, yes, there are tanks, of course, left, but it looks like they're just really trying to ban out as many tanks as possible. Up. Little mishap there, I assume.
I guess they felt there was enough.
Possibly. I'll have to wait and see, but maybe Kylie's being taken out.
Yeah, Dice not offering that same.
I have expected Dias to go for that. Also not have a last ban, maybe just as a way to, not, kind of that way if Maxwell pulls it off, or loses, they can kind of, just be like, oh, well, we didn't ban, the last ban kind of.
Oh yeah.
Always got to save some face when they can,
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean it is starting to look really dangerous for the Yasuo and Rek'Sai. Now we've got a Vladimir and a Mumu, Tarek, Samir, a lot of very close range champions that you don't really want to be close to.
A lot of in your face, and there we have a Volibear. I can only assume going to be taking this at the top lane, since I'm sure Gobbler's going to want his Rek'Sai over a Volibear.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah, I haven't seen Volibear in the top lane in actually quite a while. I know he's been played in the jungle a lot more often lately.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely great in the top lane as well because he has a lot of wave clearing power now that his lightning strike is off of his ult. It's more of on a passive now, and then he can ult the tower, and so got a lot of great tower dives can come off of that. And a Mordekaiser will come down. Wow, talk about you just said it. A lot of in your face champions.
Yeah, this is gonna be definitely a brawl. A lot of these champions being very close range champions, especially for Dias. I mean, they have that Leona, the Yasuo, Rek'Sai, and Volibear, all melee champions. Ashe is gonna kind of be stuck in the back there, trying to position herself around this full engaged team comp.
She's definitely be alone. Though I have to say, I mean, we talked about it, Cosmic Gradients from Tarek into Hecarim, but you got to think Cosmic Gradients with a Mumu. I mean, that's just, you pop that down, the dude can Q and then ult, without, taking any damage.
Absolutely, yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage.
But Mumu actually, I'm happy to see this Mumu. That is a jungler that, though he has a pretty great kit, he doesn't see much playtime across the board anymore.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because how easily or how susceptible he is to counter jungling. He doesn't typically have a very strong jungler presence, especially when going up against someone like Rek'Sai, who should be able to roam into the enemy jungle and make very favorable trades. And if you can kind of lock down a Mumu's blue, that kind of reduces his capabilities as well.
Yeah, I expect to see an early invade from Gobbler, because that's when you can hurt Amumu. Because once Amumu hits 6 and gets about 1 to 2 items up, he gets pretty unkillable there. Um, and actually, he's scary in the concept of he's kind of a hidden damage dealer. His Q has a lot of burst along with his ult, but his W, which is his tears, does max percent health damage. For those who don't know, it's not just like, oh, here's like a couple AP. It's you're talking about it gets up. I think it gets up until like the 3 or 5%
Oh yeah, it absolutely does
range.
quite a bit of damage. And then a lot of times people will stick that with like Leandries, where they're getting
Mhm.
that burn damage constantly, dealing additional damage as well as increasing their damage the longer that they're in that team fight. Whereas the tanky Amumu is going to have no problem sticking into a team fight.
Absolutely, and then with Cosmic Radiance, and then Vladimir as well, being able to use his Tides of Blood and Saint Queen pool. So they got to definitely, a lot of AP. About technically, Mumu, he's gonna build tank. He does deal AP damage. He's got about 4 AP damage dealers on Maxwell, which is odd because all today they talked about how we do AD comps.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it looks like Dice is actually opting to go for a lot of that AD.
Absolutely, and not Barksdale POC did just he made a great comment saying how Amumu's E reduces physical damage. You know, to an alt AD comp, you're looking at a lot of damage reduction possibly too.
Absolutely, yeah, and he stacks up he's able to use that. Not a name escapes me, but as he gets attacked, he can utilize that ability faster and more quickly.
Yeah, so the more hits he takes, the more damage reduction, and that does deal good damage, but yeah, more damage reduction he's able to combo out there. So I'm definitely excited. I will say, my hypotheses for this game. I think Maxwell might take it solely, except if Gobbler can shut down the Amumu, solely because Tarek and Samira. Samira's already unkillable. You add an invulnerability to her for 2.5 seconds, and that's her ult. That's her ult cooldown.
Absolutely, yeah. So I would as well give this to Maxwell, just from the champ select. Obviously, it's going to come down to how it's played and where people are positioned and whether or not they can get some of these picks. And of course, coming into the jungle, right? Like how well can they keep track of a Mumu and possibly go in for some counter ganks and get that knocked off. Again, I'm not too super familiar with the Volibear Mordekaiser matchup, as I haven't seen Volibear in quite a while, but I know Volibear in the past has been a very strong top lane champion.
Definitely.
To Summoner's
Looks like we're
Rift.
once again looking to see a 5-man front from both teams.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Not much happening there, Dice not going for their 5-man invade, which could possibly work out with, if they had done it. Teams hitting all across the board. I don't think anybody saw anybody. I'm gonna check that.
Minions have spawned.
Standard clear. And once again, Barksdale POC making a great comment about how, not only can Volley Bear dive his own lane, but with his TP, he can dive the bot lane and be able to ulti that tower and possibly secure a double.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, that is very very good point. I do like Holy Bear for that ability. It is going to be very hard going against someone like the Taric though, with those stuns and with the ability to kind of stop that damage for 2.5 seconds. Almost negates the tower shutdown, because when that tower comes back, it's going to instantly lock on to a target, whereas you may have not dealt any damage to either of them.
So we have an opposite start, but Gobbler quickly going from his red to his blue. Assuming he's going to do a red-blue clear here. And look for an early gank off. But his lanes are all pushing, so I don't know where he's going to get that gank off. But we'll have to wait and see. So the bottom, we have a couple of pokes. They're looking kind of just playing safe again. Goblin doing an invade that we talked about. Flash should be going down. He flashes into it. Flash from infos. He's gonna be able to get it. He's starting to that burrow and unburrow. Barely escapes with his life. Now we go 4-man invade to take that blue away. Exactly what you said in the picks and bans.
Absolutely, yeah, and he barely missing that that attack with that red buff. Might have actually been able to secure the kill on that Amumu there. I may have heard me get a little excited because I saw that swing.
So I was pretty excited for it, you know. I mean, we talked about it so much. I was like, is it actually gonna happen?
I was ready to call that first blood, but yeah, you heard the sound of the attack. It felt like a bad horror movie, you know, the jump scare and then nothing's there.
Definitely from a monster like Rek'Sai, you know, and a mummy like a Mumu. Basically is a bad horror movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's not something I want to be friends with.
There we go, Sanguine going down inside the blood. We'll make that into an even trade. And top lane though. Top lane we have Volley Bear really harping on this Mordekaiser, not allowing him. I mean, you know, just using that Relentless Storm passive as much as possible to get the electric spikes down on him. But there we have Death Scrap's gonna go down, followed by an Obliterate with no follow-up. Gobbler doing a really great job at not allowing infos to farm up, trying to hurt this early game as much as possible for infos. The TP down in the top lane for Volley Bear. He's gonna come back with a recurve bow already. He's gonna give him a little bit more attack speed and actually deal some more damage on his basic attacks, which actually helps his passive deal a little bit more damage.
Absolutely, yeah. Both these teams almost going about 6 minutes now, neck and neck. Lots of fights have been taking place, but no secured kills yet. Dragon is up, so they may be looking to make plays towards that here in the near future.
Yeah, you're in this mid lane. I mean, they've been hitting each other so hard. You know, I mean, you know, I keep cursing over it to see if they can go down, but you know, they just poke and just heal each other up. Reset from Dias is, or sorry, Trying to stay firm on Maxwell's bot lane. He's gonna allow Samira to get that early BF sword. Oh, you know, which could be a little bit dangerous. As you said it, that we have Dias starting this dragon, going to be seen out by Kairos, but nothing's going to come of it. Top lane. We have a full rotate as it didn't even go in. Dazzle's going to go down, but Rex's still going to be able to secure off of the smite. This is going to be a first blood for Samira. Samira's going to dash in into Seraphine, secure to get her double, and it's probably going to triple. There's a triple down onto Yasuo as her dash did reset, followed by up with another Dazzle from Kairos.
Yeah, they were able to go ahead and pick off that dragon there, but it cost them 3 lives.
Absolutely, and was it worth? I would say no, personally. That's, you know, we saw that, I want to say, in Dias's game versus Whiteman, is that an early triple on Samira just snowballs her and snowballs the entire game. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see at this next back a big buy coming out from Shyrats.
Absolutely. I mean, there still has the chance of coming in and doing this. I mean, you see a lot of these stuns coming down. Leona's capable of taking quite a bit of the damage. Samir hasn't backed since her triple kill, so she's still working off of just that BF sword.
And I don't know if they got called out or not, but yeah, it looked like they were trying to do a 4-man gank there in the bot lane.
It does look like they will actually opt to back now.
We're getting a couple FFs in the chat here because of because of Samira getting that 3-0. I think everyone agrees that she's a little bit broken, I guess. But,
Absolutely, yeah, Samir very strong.
Who knows, Dias may be able to pull this out, folks.
And it's not over yet. They still have the abilities to play around it. It's just they do need to be careful with his Taric, because obviously a 3-0 Samir not taking damage for 2.5 seconds is not something that you want to have to deal with.
Yeah, you got Common Gradient for 3.5 seconds. You have Blade Whirl. Yeah, Blade Whirl being a 360 wind wall, so hey, nothing's gonna hit me there. And then Inferno Trigger is gonna heal her up. I didn't get to catch what happened in top lane.
Yeah, so it was a very close call. Volibear and Mordekaiser duking it out. Mordekaiser opting to stick around just a little bit too long. Volibear ended up getting his heal off on that bite, which secured the kill and prevented any additional deaths that might have caused. We do see this bot lane. Yeah, Leona doing everything she can to try and stay alive, dodging as much as possible.
Dazzle will be able to secure the kill, but Citrus going in and he's auto getting the slow. There goes Cosmic Radiance popping down. Manadale's gonna be able to teleport in. He's gonna get Death's Grasp. Nothing's gonna come of it. They now have all 5 there in the bot lane. No minion wave to back it. Centric Agent flip side kind of pushing up, but they're realizing they have no mana and probably not the best time to fight.
Yeah, you don't want to take a 5v2. Your tower's not that strong.
Gobbler there is going to be securing the Rift Herald as well. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely, even though essentially is only at 0, at the 0-0-0, he does have his Bilgewater Cutlass, which is providing him a lot of potential right now. I mean, he's close to securing that kill on Kairos, forcing him to pop Cosmic Radiant. In the mid lane, we have Bingo securing the kill on Rek'Sai. Looks like Rek'Sai ganked, but using emo play, he tied the blood and takes one forward to secure it.
And Taric making a roam up into the mid lane, possibly saving Vladimir's life. It looked like that Yasuo was looking to finish him off. Unfortunately, with that Taric stun coming down, he opted to kind of go back to safety. He does need to be careful, though. That's like Samumu's looking for blood.
Volibear was about to get cut out, but Death Trap did not land. But, yeah, just you know, other what is a quick law? I do want to say that now that Chavez was able to go back, he did just full purchase an Essence Reaver and boost, so that's a lot of damage going to be coming down soon.
Absolutely, yeah, and they are moving around the map quite a bit. That is going to be the flash.
Flash coming down from Shirez, but Leona with Zenith Blade was able to catch him off guard.
Absolutely, yeah, a lot of resources being used there. Shirez using the flash to try and get away. Unfortunately, still getting caught out by the slow of Leona's solar flare, so they were able to catch right back up and dish out enough damage.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to secure them that second Drake, and now popping this Rift out in the bottom lane. He's going to leave about one plate or so left on his tower to go. Going in, Cosmic Radiance popped down. It looks like not Cosmic Radiance, I apologize. Just Bastion.
Yeah, you can see they're only about 100 gold, 200 gold difference right now, down 3 kills at the 12-minute mark, almost 13-minute mark. And that's just these neutral objectives. They've been securing these plates and getting these dragons.
They definitely, 100 gold now. They're that securing those 2 plates that they just secured really helped them. It's helping them stay in this game, in this early game here.
Absolutely, yeah. By no means is Maxwell taking this. I mean, they were working with that 3-0 Samir, currently 3-1. But Ash being such a strong champion, especially with that Leona backing her up, it's just a very incredible duo there. So much CC coming out from the two of them.
Yeah, a lot of slows, a lot of CC coming out. Is really helping them stop this 3-0 push. This 3-1 push, sorry. 17 much from this Mumu. He's mostly been just taking his camps, doing what he can. Definitely think we're going to see him later on. Those 5v5. Huge play down there in the bot lane. Gobbler came in from the red side jungle, was able to tunnel into it, and yeah, I mean, pick up that kill using Void Rush to secure it. Oh, that's going to be a double for him. It's going to definitely help him get back in the game. There we have a Q coming down with the volley there. Death Scraps into an Obliterate into the Stormbringers and go down to save himself with a flash. In the mid lane.
Yeah, I thought surely Volibear was dead there, but making good use of his ultimate into a flash, get him just enough distance to get away. We do see a Mumu going in for a snare over onto this Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai going in under the ground, knocking him up. Mordekaiser's going to take him into the Shadow Realm. It's going to be a 1v1 fight. Of course, the rest of the team is waiting for him to come out. And Volibear immediately jumps onto that Mordekaiser. Yeah, I was about to say, I almost thought Leona took that kill there.
Actually, now 66, dies quickly, evening out the tides, and actually about a 1k goal lead in their favor now. This 3-0 Samira in chat, y'all said the FF, but she hasn't done much since that 3-0 lead. She's now 3-2.
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean, it's this amount of CC. I mean, it doesn't matter how strong you are if you're not able to shoot anything, you're not going to do any damage.
Absolutely, and that's another thing. I since she's so new, I don't think a lot of people know, but if you CC her doing her ultimate, it will stop her Inferno trigger going off. It will stop her, it will just stop Inferno trigger. So that's definitely something that they need to be looking for. Be doing. Looks like we had a quick lane swap as Volibear went to bot lane, AD carrying support in the mid lane, and he also was trying the top lane.
Yeah, both these teams doing a lot of rotating right now. Currently got Rek'Sai. Looks like he's trying to put some damage down on his Mordecai to scare him off. Possibly looking to take this Rift Herald uncontested.
Move there on the Vlad. Looking to catch a bandage toss. All four of them starting to rotate as really big catch out. Gobbler going on the trigger. Like, don't think he's being time to get it. And there we have Tornado going down, gonna land off the board. Duffy's gonna ult in, followed by Gobbler using really Void Rush. Will secure that kill.
Yeah, Mordecai's are getting no thanks for helping with that Rift Herald there. This Dias basically turned and jumped on him as soon as it was taken.
Absolutely, and that will be a 5v4 fight into this dragon. Well, excuse me, a 4v4 fight as Agent Flipside wants to take the top turret. So it's definitely gonna even up the fight there. Solar Flare going down will stun out. But nothing's gonna come from it. Bandage Toss does land on the Ashe. He's gonna go in, then all the Cosmic Radiance landing on the entire team. It's a Vladimir going with the Hemo Plague, followed by the Inferno Triggers, and help him quickly secure all. Pretty chill.
Now that was a very good re-engage there, knowing that Leona didn't have Solar Flare available. Obviously just from previously using it with no engage. Yeah, and that Tarek being able to get his entire team stacked up for the 2.5 seconds of invulnerability. Again, showing as what we saw from last game, just so much can happen, so much damage can go down in that 2.5 seconds, where you're taking nothing.
Exactly. I mean, nothing. And someone said in the chat, Amu was like, "Hey, nice stun. Let me see. Now I'll show you mine." Using that 1 second bandage toss followed into the Curse of the Mummy. So it's about 3 seconds stun that Ashe was down for.
Yeah, they definitely have to be cautious of those re-engages like that, especially when Leona's used pretty important resources like her Solar Flare.
Absolutely. Go. I mean, it is on a it's only at, level 1, one ranked into it. It's 81-second cooldown, so luckily it will come up. Probably, mostly every fight they'll have. Citric and Leon are still pushing this mid lane as much as possible. They definitely did opt to switch lanes as we see a complete swap. Mid to top, top to bot, and bot to mid, and just rotating.
It does look like that Hawk Shot's actually going to catch out the Samir and that Mumu there in the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, vision is definitely the key to winning. If you can maintain vision, when people know where they're at, you can track them. So
Absolutely.
I was just gonna harp on the vision right now. A lot of vision down for Maxwell. I mean, Galbert did just clear one, but they had a lot of vision on that top side. There's a flash from Gobbler back into the Unburrow will knock up Manadel, securing the kill as Asian Flipside did engage with the Tornado. Now they're going to pop that second Rift Arrow, and they will be able to take this turret as Maxwell is now attempting to rotate. Or not rotating there.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to rotate it, but it looks like they're actually going to go in for an engage.
Vladimir decided Bingo went up to stop this, but I think he does get a big transfusion off. He's gonna have to back up. This Gobbler and Flipside are just doing a little bit too much. Now Maxwell has all backed and is able to push forward. Definitely costed them a lot. I mean, 2 towers and an inhib for 2 kills. Definitely costly.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I believe with the kind of the situation that they were given, after making the decision not to rotate the top, it was kind of too late. So I think that engage was a very good call. They did end up securing 2 kills and getting the flash on Ashe, so she won't have that available coming into this next team fight or the next fight that she has to take. Unfortunately, they did end up losing 2 towers, and they didn't hit like you said. But I think after kind of where they had stood, I think that was the best case scenario for them.
I had a quick laugh there in the mid lane as you see Bandage Toss go down from Mumu. You saw Dazzle. I saw he's a flash Dazzle into Bandage Toss. You saw just a sword come out from Leona. Just all the little like extended abilities. Just I had to laugh real quick.
Oh yeah, everyone's trying to toss themselves around each other.
Everyone's just trying to stun lock each other. You know, Samir used her Wild Rush a couple times. Just a lot of mobility, a lot of reach for these teams.
Yeah, and that Leona, often I've made the mistake plenty of times that Zenith blade, where it always hits the champion in the back.
Solar flare in mid lane followed by a flash did not connect, and she did the as you just said, the Zenith blade off. And I think she was top to secure the kill. Kyra's gonna be caught out in the middle of 4 people. And that's definitely gonna be into a Baron move for Team Dias.
Absolutely, and it looks like Yasuo is actually coming to join them, possibly pushing out that mid lane and rotating into that Baron with them, just in case a team fight does occur. It does look like they might be able to pick this Baron up without any type of aggression from Maxwell.
Really, Agent Flipside doing what you said, kind of pushing info, being able to just queue all into there, saving them. Yeah, that's easily, you know, how you can steal the dragon. Now we see pings from both teams looking into this second mountain crate.
Yeah, this is going to be very bad. I mean, this is almost a free dragon for Dias. I mean, they've got the top lane pushing from these super minions, which are super powerful early into the game, along with the Baron buff, which is also empowering their lanes as well, causing all the lanes to kind of push themselves out.
The Bandage Toss on the Asian flip side. Curse of the Mummy has already gone down. Connor's ready to go down. More takes. Looks like he took Volley Bear to the realm of death. Dazzle goes down, lands on 3 champions. They're not able to do much. Vladimir with the transfusion able to secure the kill on the Rex side. He's gonna Zanya's barely in time to save himself. Seraphine's still there. Following to the bottom with Dazzle coming down. Kara's doing his best to fight flip side, and Invo on Amumu is just taking as heavy as he can on Ashe. Luckily with that max health damage, Seer's gonna be able to secure it. Obliterate from Lord. Should be able to secure this. Now he gets the full death. Along with Darkness Rise, will be able to secure the kill. Volibear coming in with the TP was trying to re-engage and save. Agent Flipside was not able to. He's gonna re-engage, almost getting double. He's not of his ability up. Just calls in the Sky Splitter to get the shield. He's still going in. Vlad gets a huge transfusion, and with the transfusion obliterate, they will secure an ace across the board.
Yeah, and that ace is very critical, eliminating any Baron buff left on that team. I think they overextended just a little bit too much there. Ashe kind of found herself out a little bit too much. The Ashe and the Yasuo were kind of splitting damage there, where I think if they would have just focused in that 2v2 onto a single champion, both of them doing pretty incredible amounts of damage, would have been able to both live from that, and possibly could have had 3 alive at the end of that fight.
Absolutely, and Dias did secure, even though they aced, but they were able to secure their 3rd Drake, so this next one will be their soul. So at least one thing worked out for them in that fight. But yeah, Manadel did a great job of locking down Volibear by taking him into the realm of death. You know, it's one of their big frontliners. Gobbler, you know, though considered a frontliner, he doesn't. Rek'Sai doesn't last too long against a team comp like this.
Yeah, absolutely. They actually did really well surviving through a lot of that damage. Samir kind of got caught out, so she wasn't too much into that team fight. But you definitely saw that Tarek getting about 3 to 4 members of their team. Dias did pretty decent with kind of backing off and kind of re-engaging after that had already gone out.
There we have it. Goblin getting engaged, using his warrior as quickly to the infos, Bandage Toss, and Curse of the Mummy. That can be up. Secure a 4 kill there. Quadra is not a quadra, but it will secure a quad kill.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Fighting in that jungle, they didn't really have any business being in there. They looked like they were getting down some wards, but they had plenty of vision at the end of that fight. But yeah, they just got engaged on after that Leona Zenith bladed over into the Moo.
Actually, yeah, it looks like they're trying to focus a little bit on picks right now. And I mean, looking at where that burrow is at, it looks like he was just trying to stop infos from farming. But I mean, they have that top in him that they need to be focused on. They need to be refocusing on taking out those turrets. That'll help them a lot. Because with that quad kill, they were able to Maxwell took the bot lane and mid turret.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're by no means are they out of this game. I mean, they allowed Maxwell to catch back up. They blew about a 3,000 gold lead in the last 2-3 minutes. But yeah, I think they need to play just a little bit more safe. Stop trying to get these picks in the enemy jungle if they don't have the proper vision or awareness of exactly where the enemy team is, especially with the way that this team can play, right? They're very good at engaging and jumping in. So they're capable of a lot of these re-engages.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's definitely a tough team to fight from Maxwell just because of the amount of sustainability they have. I mean, Vlad can just consistently heal himself. Samira does not have the best dance yet, but even still, she just heals so much from Inferno Trigger. Looks like our teams yet again just kind of stalled for a little bit there as this just looking for this next dragon fight, which should be coming up within 30 seconds or so.
Never submit.
Wasn't able to fully catch what happened there, but I assume it was a bandage toss into Curse of the Mummy, and then followed on that with the Dazzle.
Absolutely, yeah. Moo bandage tossed into a minion, and Ash just barely being caught out in the range of that Curse of the Mummy was able to stun Ash down. There wasn't much anyone in the team could do.
Stormbringer going to be ulted down. I'm trying to secure the dragon as best as possible, but he will be able to do it, and there you have it. A huge Infernal Trigger damage from Samira is going to secure the kill on Volibear, but Goblin will use his Void Rush as well as Burrow to get kill on the Shirens. Teams looking to set up for this possible next Baron, and knowing that Gobbler and Volibear are down, but I am mistaken. Looks like they're just going to go back after a quick invade.
Now you can see the builds of these team members, Mordekaiser and Amumu, both getting a pretty decent amount of armor against this full AD team comp. And it looks like there is a Black Cleaver over on Rek'Sai. We are going to have an engage. Rek'Sai is going to get a knockup, but that Amumu Curse of the Mummy is going to go down. Tarek's going to use his ability to prevent a lot of that damage coming down. Volibear jumping into the backline, focusing a lot of damage onto the Amumu. It looks like Grasp is going to go down, landing on Yasuo. Yasuo is going to use his ulti, but he is going to go down for it, going too deep. A lot of damage coming down inside of Maxwell, losing 3 members. Currently, Yasuo down. There's a chase on Amumu, while Volibear takes Mordekaiser down in the back.
Burrow, but Amumu's able to bandage toss himself away. And that's going to be a second secure Baron for Dias.
Absolutely, that is a 4v1 there. So this will be a bear, and they should be able to swing this into a tower or an in-hit possibility.
At one point, they were just getting right, but yeah, I mean, that was a odd engage. Infos kind of went in without the backing of his team, and then got caught out from the Yasuo and the Rek'Sai. And though he was able to get his Curse's Head Mummy down, it wasn't close enough for the rest of his team to really follow up quickly enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that, I mean, Flipside had an amazing tornado, followed by that into a last breath. I mean, huge damage he dealt basically to all members of the team. Kind of allowed him to take out Shira and Vladimir like that. And that's a huge amount of their damage for Team Maxwell right now. I want to say this has been the longest of the game so far. Looking at 30 minutes, 18 to 24. The gold lead is very close. Right, Dias only up 2K or so.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's see if Dias can hold on to their Baron buff this time. They are looking to fight for this soul in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. But yeah, that last Baron, they actually tried to roll it into a dragon and ended up getting aced, where they didn't get much out of it. Whereas I think one of the other games we saw they got about 3 towers and an inhib.
And I'll be honest though, I mean, we see a Motor Reminder down for Ash, we see a Black Cleaver on Rek'Sai, but other than that, and an Executioner's calling on Rek'Sai as well, but they don't have much healing resistance. I'm blanking on the term for it in League of Legends, but stopping all the healing that this enemy team, that Maxwell has, minus those two. I mean, granted, if you get a great volley down, yeah.
Yeah, they've got to do something to apply grievous wounds, especially to that Samir. I mean, they do have a lot of damage. That Samir's been going down pretty fast if she's not getting the 2.5 from Tarek. There's not I don't want to say there's not a lot of CC, but I mean, there's not a whole massive a lot of CC as we've seen in some of these last recent games. They do have the Amumu and the Tarek, but aside from that, there's not like a whole lot that can shut the team down for large periods of time.
Okay, we have Dragon coming up in 20 seconds. This is the possible Soul Drake for Dias, which could definitely carry them to the next team fights. A huge damage coming down from Volley and Ash onto Binga's Vladimir. Definitely expect to see a fight coming down soon.
Yeah, Mumu barely missing that bandage toss. Actually getting that field goal. Unfortunately, those points don't count in this game.
I think this is definitely going to be a different fight going down. Down with a couple of Radiants only hitting the entire team. Luckily, there's a flash from Kairos didn't go in, but actually the arrow off onto Samira, stopping her from being able to all we have more Jet Crash, just missing the synergy. He's going to go into Zanya, and those teams going to go down. Binga still alive, and Vladimir's going to about to get a huge transfusion off onto the volley there, and they're 4v1ing this at this point. There goes the second Dazzle coming down. Huge Zanya play from Binga followed into a transfusion, and a Tides of Blood will secure that kill, but that will be a secured soul for Team Dias.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ash got split from the team there, trying to position while Mordekaiser utilized his Zonya's Hourglass. Unfortunately, once that Hourglass ran out, he was standing toe-to-toe with Mordekaiser, and it forced him to utilize his flash and kind of get out of that fight, abandoning the rest of his team.
Absolutely, they were just a hair late on stealing a dragon as well. I watched him try his best to get it. So it's only going to be something to watch out for in these next fights, that shield and the armor resistance.
Absolutely, yeah, and you can see that they basically put everything on the line just for that soul, whereas they've been winning some of these team fights, but this team fight particularly, they took a lot just to make sure that they were securing that dragon. Ended up costing 4 members.
Yeah, I mean, they're 2 towers, Dias is 2 towers up, only about 500 gold really, but about to get evened out to that, to 200 gold lead. I mean, this is a close game, 35 minutes in. This is the closest game we've had, definitely, out of this in this best of 5.
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean, Dias has been doing everything to hang in there. I mean, they've taken 2 Barons, they just took their 4th dragon, and they're currently up in towers, and you can see that there's actually they just pulled ahead in gold just now as we were talking. But yeah, I mean, it's you would think that they would be much further ahead, but they just keep most of these things that they're doing are typically costing them their lives or a team fight.
Absolutely. I mean, they're the soul is going to help them, but yeah, they've been losing. I think it's like the 2nd team fight that they lost. And that's something to be worried about. If you're grading objectives, but if you're not winning the team fights, those objectives aren't gonna do much to you.
It's true. I mean, objectives are the objective. I mean, the end goal is taking down the Nexus. It doesn't matter if you win 9 or if you lose 900 team fights, as long as you take the Nexus first.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, talking about objectives, there we have Volley Bear doing a split push bot lane, that second bottom tower. You know, Dice is definitely doing a great job on focusing towers in these past couple games that they've played.
Absolutely. Yeah, and this is very key. I mean, again, we see the Baron just now coming up. Both teams are going to be looking to make this. By no means is Maxwell wanting Dice to have their third Baron. Although, I mean, the only thing that they essentially are getting off of this is the gold.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely going to be a game that we see an Elder. My assumption. Got a couple teams down there. This mid lane. Volibear's trying to engage. There's the Unburrow trying to catch off Bingo. But nothing's going to come of it. You have now been quoted, Silent.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of got silenced there as I was laughing at these people. You know, just trying to bring some common sense to the people, which I.
Common sense is definitely an uncommon virtue, but yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Objectives are the objective, 100%. You absolutely said it. We're getting to a little bit of a stalemate here right now, as both teams are just kind of, you know, neither is in a position to take Baron. They're kind of, you know, definitely waiting for this Elder Drake to come in, pushing lanes what they can, doing what they can to farm, get their gold, get their items. But definitely, it's only going to be this Elder fight.
Yeah, this game it's 38 minutes now, and deaths become increasingly important. That timers increase by a significant margin. Where losing a team fight can usually mean the loss of the game. When you're sitting out 45 to a minute, waiting just to come back into the game. So I think that is causing them to play a lot more cautious right now.
Oh, yeah, both teams are definitely sitting, you know, more topsider now because you know neither wants the enemy team to get a Baron. But I mean, we're setting a minute till Elder, and that, you know, Elder can definitely be a turn of events.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do because, yeah, like you said, Elder about 45 seconds out with that Baron and Elder, winning a team fight at this point is gonna secure a pretty big neutral creep right now.
So in the bot lane, though, we have Manadel and Volibear just duking it out. Blaster flash, Stormbringer's gonna come down as he gets there. There we go. The Zonda's gonna go down to save him, but I mean he's caught out 5-1, and he's gonna go for the shutdown. There's some team is following up though. He's gonna get caught out by the Ash Hawkeye shot, and you know, Maxwell I think is definitely worrying right now because I mean that could cost them Elder having Manadel down for another 40 seconds.
Yeah, that was 2 ultimates and a flash from Volibear just to secure that kill. But yeah, you saw he's about 62 seconds of a respawn timer. Making this a 4v5 as this Elder's coming alive. And actually, yeah, Yasuo's ultimate has already returned.
Nah, that's on a 30-second ultimate. So there we have Dazzle going down into Cosmic Radiance, going almost gets the entire team, really. Then we have a couple diamonds going down. Trigger's going down, but not going to do much chance as long as the Saber cell. Each team is going down, trying to get him. Dazzle goes down, secure the kill. But Leona just got alive, and there we have Bingo in the top lane getting shut down by Flipside. He's just dashing and stabbing as much as he can. I will say, great job done by Maxwell. You know, that was a 4v5, and they were able to secure a 3-for-3 and stop the Elder from being taken. You know, people talked about, you know, how, hey, Samira is broken. She can definitely, you know, she's gonna win these team fights. But you know, I think we forgot that, hey, you got Rek'Sai's CC, you got Leona CC, you got Ashe CC, you got Asian Flipside on Yasuo with the knockup CC that can stop her from ulting off. There we have Manadel who's going to take Yasuo to the realm of death. He's going to get a death grab and a huge obliterator. AFL is just waiting around where he's going to get the Curse of the Sad Mummy and a massive obliterate coming down from Manadel will secure the kill. Now they're just, pings are coming down from Maxwell to take this dragon as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there was unnecessary from an Asian flip side there, trying to make plays, but yeah, once he got locked down in that very small realm of Mordekaiser, there wasn't much that he could do other than be followed around by this Amumu just waiting to utilize his Curse of the Mummy.
Yeah, it's going to be looking to a possible 5v4 for the Elder. They are now starting it, but Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to be down for another 20 seconds, so...
Absolutely, and it does look like Dias might be giving up the Elder in exchange for a Baron. Mordekaiser trying to hold him off as long as possible, allowing Maxwell to take the Elder and make their way up to the Baron.
Huge obliterate going down at the bear tip is going to actually secure Manadel the kill on Ashe in that 5v1. I mean, that Elder, really popping up. He stopped them from being able to take the Baron, actually. And they're going to start pushing these towers in with this wave. And they're actually going to now retreat back, looking to this Baron pit. It is a 4v4. And, Dias is not going to be hurting without their Ashe to fight this with them. They might just have to give it up. Quickly going to be decimating Barons now, taking it down. No one likes a snake, so chopping its head off real quickly. They are now rocking Elder and Baron buff.
Absolutely, and they've pulled ahead in the gold lead. They're going to start pushing down some of these objectives with these double buffs. It's extremely powerful, especially this late in the game. You can just see the amount of damage in the wave clear that they have.
I'm worried about this next team fight, but I'm wondering what Dice is going to do to try and combat this, try and stop them from taking as much as they can. Luckily, that Baron buff into the late game is going to give the cannon roughly 3,200 health. So that's definitely huge. The 5-man front should be able to stop them from taking the tower.
I mean, you've got to get that cannon. That cannon is just laying siege. It's done about a quarter of the health of that tower already.
That's just doing what they can with her volley and, using Spray Seeker from XI. There goes the second wave, and Mordekaiser actually, Manadel's putting him in the top lane. If he doesn't have a Baron, he's not going to be able to take him. TP into Mandel should TP into the mid lane to be able to get a Death's Grasp to secure the kill on Seraphine. And they're looking at in this game, so they got that Elder, they got the Baron. How's the greatest hit go down? Two Stormbreakers coming on in. They're helping get the entire team. Samir's gonna be focused down and gonna have to use her GA to survive. And there we have Asian Flipside doing what he can, but Samir is coming up from it. So while the rest get back into him, heal up massive amounts of health. And that's gonna be the game, folks. They just A-suit them. We're gonna take the turrets, and we're looking to be moving into the 5th game of this best of 5. Congratulations to Maxwell on the 2nd win.
Yeah, this is a very unfortunate. Yasuo get caught out in the mid lane there, so late into the game, Maxwell was able to just take that and roll it right into an Elder, which guaranteed them that Baron after Mordekaiser sacrificed his life, slowing him down.
Absolutely. It's a 12-2 Vladimir. A couple folks in the chat are saying they need to ban this Vlad out. I mean, it's 2 games he showed up with it.
Absolutely. I mean, both these teams were doing a very, very strong showing here. Incredible play from both teams as well. Very close game. This is probably one of the longer games that we've actually seen. I look forward to this. Will be the last game. We're currently sitting 2-2 for these teams. So going into the best of 5 here, this will be the last match of the season, determining who our champion is. So stick around as we get this good. All right, welcome back, everybody. We got this game fired up. We'll have Maxwell on the blue side, Dias on the red this time going around, so giving Manadel the first pick. I know there are a lot of picks and bans that Dias wants to kind of get out. I know both teams have kind of been tossing around a ban and an Ornn. Ornn being kind of the favorite flavor for both of these teams today. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do that, because I know Dias is also kind of worried about Darius, Pantheon, Evelyn, and then of course there have been a lot of bans over on the side of Maxwell, just trying to get rid of Soraka's. They actually allowed that Yasuo into that game there, which Yasuo did a very good showing up until the end there. And then, of course, Galio, first 2 games can almost be given to Galio, just showing such a dominant performance. And there's that Vlad that Chat was talking about. They definitely don't want to see a Vlad again.
Absolutely. I mean, we called it. Some of the chat called it. Saying no Vladimir, no Vladimir.
Absolutely, and I do believe they are either they are agreeing or they were reading the chat and they're taking some people's advice.
Could be.
Yeah, they're not messing around with that Vlad. They're not messing around with Ornn. But again, that's leaving a lot of open champions that they've been kind of scouted out. That Evelyn is still available now. The Pantheon's available. The Darius is available. So it's going to be a lot left up in the air. But Maxwell has shown very strong skill with the Vladimir and the Ornn. So that's something that they wanted to kind of take away from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it, earlier. I was like, I definitely see an Ornn ban. They can't have that first pick, but yeah, I mean, depends on what I'm assuming they have to ban a Darius next. Yeah. I mean, that's just too devastating.
Absolutely, yeah. Something that they've struggled with in the past is that Darius in the top lane. A lot of the picks that they're very comfortable with don't fare well against a Darius. And the last thing you want to do is get a Darius ahead, because he just causes so much strife in 1v1, 2v1 situations. He can just kind of hold his own and get away with a lot of different stuff.
And there's that Pantheon. We're gonna definitely see a lot of global ults going up there.
So I see the Ezreal coming out. The only thing I have is sure. I mean, we still have Ashe, Caitlyn available as well. Senna's available. I think there are a lot of better picks rather than Ezreal. So I'm not sure what the thinking is behind that, but maybe they have a team comp built around it that we're going to see.
I think we're going to see... I mean, Galio and Ornn is banned out. But I mean, seeing Ezreal Kindred that's looking to do like a attempt... Actually, it's looking like they might try to do their little Jackrabbit like yet again so far is what I'm seeing. A lot of mobility. But I think you called it in that game. You called it, while we were on that break. That if they don't ban Evelyn, we're going to see an Evelyn at the Pantheon. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Those are 2 champions that are very strong. That Pantheon into the bot lane is played as a very good support. And then, of course, Evelyn, just the amount of map pressure that she applies. Going into this Kindred, though, I think that'll be a very good matchup, that Kindred versus that Evelyn. Of course, Evelyn looking to kind of snipe out a lot of the the marks that Kindred gets, trying to build his stacks up.
Yeah, I think Kindred into Evelyn is definitely a good matchup. Kindred is able to use Lamb's Respite if he needs to kind of cancel her ult. Not cancel her ult out, but stop the damage of it. And then, once Evelyn, her kit's gone, it's kind of gone. She doesn't have much after that.
And we see the full combo of the Ashe Pantheon. This is actually what we've seen in the past, this Pantheon Ashe combo. Just the stun length is so incredible. And of course, with Pantheon being a click stun, and then followed up by an Ashe arrow, there's just so much time for them to lay down massive amounts of damage onto a single target. I surely thought that they were going to pick Ashe or ban Ashe, but unfortunately they did give them the full combo, as well as now their Evelyn.
Maxwell's taking their time with this second round of bans, but they're going to take away the Soraka. I guess they didn't know if Zillion was going to go mid or support. They just really want that healing away.
Absolutely.
But I'll be honest, I'm quite surprised. Like I definitely understand the Ashe Pantheon. Kind of confused on the Ezreal, but I'm excited to see how that plays out. But I mean, there's no Samira ban. I would have expected them to pop off with Samira yet again. You get that once you get that Essence Weaver into Death Dance. I mean, she's basically unkillable, and that's something Shirez was actually missing last game. Is that he never fought Death Dance on Samira, so that's why he wasn't healing as much as he was.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm very confused by the Ezreal pick. Ezreal is not a highly contested champion. It's not something that they were going to ban out. It wasn't something that they were going to pick. So first picking a champion that you have no fear of being able to last pick even is something typically that you should care about. I mean, they could have easily first picked that Kindred. If they were looking to get the Rek'Sai, they could have easily picked a Rek'Sai. But they opted to go for that Ezreal, which, I mean, didn't really give much away for what their playstyle was. But I just think it was a poor choice.
Mm-hmm. There we have a Wukong. Could be, Wukong to the top lane versus the Set. Honestly, I think my vote's still that Dice is looking to do their little Jackrabbit comp. I mean, Set has decent mobility. Zillion can give speed, and he's fast champion. Kindred and Ezreal have their ability. His E and her Q allow to dash through walls and such. So that's what my vote's still on. I think.
Silas is a very, very strong mid laner and also a very, very strong champion, especially with this Kindred and Zillion. Almost gave them another Taric.
I definitely would have with a Syndra. Now that I think Syndra is the only champion that Silas can't. Well, not the only, but one of the few champions that Silas's ult actually isn't useful for, because I don't think that he gets to use the balls that she has out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think her ult is very useful with Silas. But I mean, the Ezreal, Zillion, Kindred set ult is definitely super useful for Silas to steal.
Yeah, I don't believe. I mean, they get the default. They did that a while back with Syndra to kind of make her ulti a little bit stronger, is to provide her with those initial balls. But I don't believe she gets to utilize anything due to it being enemy balls. I know whenever you play Syndra in like one for alls, all Syndras get to use every other Syndra's balls, which is pretty ridiculous. you have one ult, and then that one ults all the extra, and it gets mad.
Okay, Barbecue Master Dad popping up in the chat is saying that he only gets just the 3 that come with the ulti.
Absolutely,
I mean, he's an AP champion, so of course they'll still deal damage. I just don't foresee that's going to be ult he's going to be looking to grab. I definitely I'm assuming he's going to be looking to grab that Set or that Kindred ultimate.
Absolutely, yeah. I would expect him to see. I'm not typically going to grab a Zillion ulti, but I mean, if it's there, that's still something very strong, especially if you're looking to apply it even to himself, right? Silas being a champion that already has a pretty significant amount of sustain, and then if he's able to ulti himself and come back and sustain again, it's just really strong.
Yeah, because his sustain centers entirely around. I don't play Silas, so I don't know all these abilities. Where he spins his little chains in a circle, that's where he gets a lot of his healing, because it has like a reset time or something like that. I don't know if it's a certain amount of uses or reset time, but being able to re-ult himself will allow him to re-sustain himself, because his entire kit will be up once again.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as that Zillion health, I mean, he'll come back with probably full health. I'm not sure the exact scaling on Silas's ultimate and how it works with abilities such as Zillion.
Yeah, Evelyn. I think Evelyn could definitely go well into this comp. You have a lot of pretty squishy champions there for Darius. I mean, other than Lambda Spite, Kindred's kind of squishy, Syndra and Ezreal, and even Zillion. I mean, unless you get a couple health items, Zillion's pretty, a squishy guy. So, there are definitely a lot of possibilities for Maxwell to deal some damage out. Silas, Ashe, Evelyn, and then with the Wukong and Pantheon CCs.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like Wukong in the top lane. Set, I haven't really played him too much. But yeah, Set is definitely a good duelist, whereas Wukong is as well. I would give this matchup in favor of Wukong, and then of course going into the later game with the changes that have been made to Wukong later or earlier in this season. I mean, I think it's going to be very strong, and Set needs to watch out because of course there's always the possibility of accidentally ulting or using some key abilities on a Wukong clone.
Absolutely.
And I mean, the last thing you want to see is the target that you're ulting and carrying under a tower into a team fight is a clone that just disappears.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you there on that note.
So I see Not Barksdale saying he would like to send the Zillion in the mid lane. I know there are a lot of different options. One of the things that I haven't seen them play, and I'm actually really upset, is Ahri. Ahri is such a very strong and dominant champion in the mid lane. It plays around so many team comps and almost has very few hard counters, other than like really hard CC type of champions.
Yeah, Zed and Yasuo is probably about her biggest counter solely because of the wind wall, and then Zed can just be like, cool, I'm gonna ult you, death mark you, and you're dead if you miss your stun. So I play a lot of Ahri, so I definitely also, I agree with you. I do like the Syndra though. Syndra can be super strong, has, a decent kit. I mean, she's not, not only can she just target a champion out of the game, if she has enough balls around, but she, a lot of CC with her stun, against that team. But yeah, Ahri would have been really nice for sure.
And I mean, just from the showing of Asian Flipside Yasuo, he is definitely not short on balls, so he should be very good with this Syndra.
Yeah, it looks like we got a 4-man front there in the bot lane, while Maxwell's going to go for that, standard 5-man. They don't seem like a big invade like team, unlike Dias.
Yeah, they did surprise us with that one invade, which ended up turning into nothing. Of course, nothing too dominant in any of these matches.
So we have the 50-second.
Evelyn opting to go back and actually purchase her Oracle lens. I guess realizing that might be an important item to have.
Definitely, yeah. You do a 50-second with the warding totem. Also, you're blue, and then you'll come back perfect amount of time for the buff to come up.
Absolutely.
First little tip there for you wanna-be junglers out there. Yeah, but we have, your standard clears. Both junglers should be meeting up with each other at some point to fight a scuttle started in the bot side.
Yeah, Wukong being one of the stronger level 1, level 2s, I would like to definitely see him play very aggressive this early. Can get down set quite low and possibly make a pretty easy gank for Kindred once this first jungle clear has occurred.
I haven't read him up on him too much since his latest maybe not rework, but his latest buff. I know for sure they added another minion or another spin to his ult.
Yeah, so one of the things they did is, so he gets 2 spins with his ulti, and his clones mimic his abilities now to include his ultimate. So if you utilize a clone, it'll also spin and do the knockup as well. And then, of course, one of the things with his passive is the longer that he's in a fight, he starts to get health back, health per 5, as well as armor. So, I mean, it's definitely one of the things, level 1, level 2, you want to try to make a lot of extended trades, especially against someone like Set.
Absolutely. And here we have in the top jungle, Poople Gobbler going to the invade. He's going to catch out infos. Wolf's Frenzy's going to go down. He's going to dance into her. Start getting the autos. Tribe's going to be able to land, saving info as he's going to dance arrows once again, but nothing's going to come of it. Set's going to come down and rotate. We're going to steal this blue away from Info's Evelyn jungle. Huge play, great little invade there by Poople Gobbler. Lucky enough that top scuttle is actually going to have the mark. So he's going to move into stealing this blue, grabbing his first mark for the game. down while Gobbler makes his way to secure that second scuttle. It looks like Kairos and Shires are actually going to rotate up, knowing that that's where he's going to be. Bingo also moving in, trying to crash in to save the scuttle for info.
Yeah, not allowing them to get both those scuttles experiencing gold up on.
I did not see what happened there in the bot lane.
And yeah, that damage, that's that Pantheon Ash combo. Pantheon getting off that stun and then just massive amounts of damage going over.
I was looking for the mid lane where Gobbler was trying to come in onto Silas. He actually flashed for the kill, but Silas was able to use his abscond/abduct to dash away. Like,
fantastic ability.
just now spawning in. In the top lane though, Manadel is popping off. He's able to dodge the true damage from Haymaker. Mandel's doing a really good job of, even though the set is pushing in the waves consistently, he's doing a good job of taking as much CS as he can. He's low, just 86, it looks like. There in the top lane, we have set going in. He's going to be able to land off his push. The clone goes down. Flash from Manadel. Dance of Arrows, not able to kill. He's going to go back in. And Gobbler just using Mounting Dread and once again another Dance of Arrows. We'll be able to barely secure the kill before he dies. It'll be great play by them too. Top diff using landing a great face breaker.
Absolutely, and yeah, that that Kindred getting away with about 30 health.
The flash from top diff as Silas went in, told his ult, but was able to land the chain. Able to land like abscond/ag dust. I think we're looking at a quick lane switch as Benga stays top lane to fight off this set, and Manadel goes mid. Starting to go down as Manadel is taking away, you know, AZ Flipside ability to get apart. And the bot lane field goes down, Flash goes down by Shire as a TPN from, looks like Manadel following also says gonna go in, Lamb's despite able to save him from Gobbler. He'll go off. There's a huge showstopper to secure the kill on Pantheon.
I didn't really think of that that ult combo. Set being able to basically lift someone up and out of that Kindred ulti.
Definitely get low enough, you gotta be watching careful. But there we have a huge engage from Manadel and Bingo onto the Zillion to the kill. They're gonna go back in though. Bingo flashing to get away, but Shire's gonna be caught out. Syndra's gonna be able to use Unleash Power and a flash from Agent Flipside will secure the, well, not flash from Agent Flipside, but essentially will secure the kill with an auto. Without a jungler to answer for it, looks like guys should be able to secure this first drag.
Absolutely, and that was good communication down there in the bot lane. Both those teleports coming down in the bot lane to kind of counteract the team fight that was going on. you've seen that massive amounts of damage from that Pantheon and his ability to sustain. Unfortunately, he couldn't do everything on his own. There was still so much damage that came down, and once that engage happened onto that Kindred, Set able to just kind of pull everybody into that ulti, and then, yeah, like I said, that showstopper just lifting him up and out of that ultimate made sure that he no longer had that immunity to death upon landing.
Actually, in info, he's hitting 6 about the 9-minute mark. That's hopefully going to start turning around. It was definitely needed there in that bot lane fight for him to be level 6. His ulti could have definitely dealt some damage, as well as being able to finally have Demon Shade fully available.
Absolutely, yeah. Now we'll start to see Evelyn play around a lot more of these lanes. Teams have been doing really well with these pink wards and the vision. Of course, Evelyn forcing that out even more so. So they're definitely going to have to be careful.
Yeah, getting a deep ward in from Gobbler onto the blue for going to the blue side. Blue. Info's going to be called out by it as well. So now they know exactly where she's at. Here we go, Cobbler trying to come in. Looks like it's a huge stun, but Bingo's able to abscond away. Now Gobbler's starting his path bot lane, looks for a couple tunnel camps to clear and finds nothing on the invade. Just going to make his way down, trying to catch his Ash Band off. Kairos dealing some massive damage, getting a huge Comet Spear as well as the Shield Vault. I'm not 100% certain how he saw him, but I mean, I think maybe possibly from the minions. He'll deal some good damage to Gobbler.
Evelyn's still getting a lot of clears on her jungler right now. You do see this Kindred coming in, keeping close. He's going to need some support. Banga's coming in, catching out this Kindred. Syndra's going to show up. She's going to get a snare down. She is not able to get the slow down, though, but she could have rolled that into her ultimate. But it is going to thwart off the attack there and allow Kindred to come back to his side of the jungle.
Bingo just barely missed his F duck, which would have been possibly, you know, I would say probably would have cost Gobbler's life if it had landed. Which I think a quick snare, it's a quick knockup for about, you know, half a second or so.
Yeah, Silas, one of the skill shot champions. It's very important that you hit those skill shots in order to effectively deal all his damage. And I mean, it's crazy the amount of damage that he gets whenever he's capable of landing his full toolkit. But yeah, just that one miss or just missing some of it, it's pretty significant.
Definitely, you know, he could definitely burst out a lot of damage, but you know, whipping his chains around, you know, instead of whipping his hair, he whips his chains.
Absolutely.
Lander's spike goes down, since he was running, you know, running out of time to use it.
Yeah, not sure how that works. I do believe he could have just allowed it to expire.
To my knowledge, I think it's once he uses the ability, is once his ult reset time goes down. I'm not certain though, but I think that's what it is. So I think that's possibly why, is that he used it just start that
Turret plating
cooldown
will
timer.
soon fall.
Here we have Gobblers throwing this dragon. No visions from Maxwell, so they're not going to know about it. It looks like he's going to be able to secure it, even with Evelyn close by, unbeknownst to Maxwell.
Yeah, you do see the Zillion sitting on that blast cone waiting to defend him if anything happens.
Gobblers going to get the charm off. Info's going to get the charm off. He's going to have to quickly land despite the seems like he's going to flash and dance of arrows is out. TV come down from both top lanes. Huge ghost of arrows going to catch Gobbler out. Ochara is going to get pushed back. Flash from the Eccentric. Mandel's going to go in. Uses his ult to start knocking up that Eccentric. Eccentric's being caught out. Should be a secured kill there. Ashe and Pantheon there super low, but trying to do what they can to pull top diff off and put something down. Bingo chased Cinder all the way up past the mid lane, was able to get a huge duck on her and secure the kill. Now Manadel had recalled back, is going to be able to secure this kill. It's a triple kill for Manadel in that fight. That's going to make him be a bully inside of his lane.
Yeah, Wukong definitely coming alive into this game now, up 25 CS, and of course those 3 kills are 3-1, or 3 and 1 KDA that he's holding on to.
Bingo opting for a tower dive onto Gobbler. Though he got the abduct off, I don't know what happened. I think he missed his last chain spin. Was not able to do the kill, but it took about 4 turret shots or so, and easily cost him this fight. Kind of a throw, but hey, each their own.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of misplays from both sides going on here. I think there's a lot of pressure to kind of win this. Both teams kind of sticking around a little bit too long, trying to secure that kill and try to gain this early game lead.
Absolutely. Here we have Info going in, back onto the set. Mandel's getting ready. She's not popped her allure yet. But she's going to be able to catch Gobbler out. Gobbler's going to go in dance of arrows. She's going to start a Q. Last caress will make her escape safely. Not for house left. Cindy's going to be rotating up, trying to catch her off. Looks like it's not going to be a second too late. There you go. Gobbler still going in for the chase. Thinking he's going to catch her at the wolves, but she was able to get away. Pathing up top lane, looking for gank up to Manadel. Not gonna find it though.
Yeah, Gobbler getting caught out there. He's just trying to put pressure on all the lanes possible, making sure that nobody's getting anything for free.
Still got some pokes down. Kyra's just being a bully, using his Comet Sphere as much as possible to deal damage to this pretty weak bottom lane, like weak in terms of health and armor stuff. Standard is his bot lane.
Absolutely, yeah. Centric's been doing really well with staying at a distance and utilizing Ezreal's Q to kind of not get caught out by this Pantheon.
Gobbler goes in, trying to get Bingo. Bingo's going to use Lamb's Fight, followed by another Lamb's Fight on Tapu. And Gobbler, barely getting away, but Pantheon's going to come down. Grand Starfall, a little bit of a wasted ult there, as Bingo did make it away with about 30 health or so from that set. Shyrise did pop Seraphine's ult one thing, but now Kendra's coming from the bottom lane. He's just going to execute himself, giving the kill to Seraphine instead of giving Gobbler a kill for an assist. Pretty smart decision making there, I would say.
Yeah, anytime you can give a kill over to the support, it's wise, I would say. I guess if you're going to die anyways.
Absolutely. Looks like in the top lane, Manadel was able to be outset. I again didn't watch the fight, but they are about even in items. Manadel only being up to the Ruby Crystal mostly.
team's turret has been destroyed.
That will be first turret down in favor of Team Maxwell with a 3K gold lead as the Stir Dragon comes up. Dice is already set up, already at the wards. You know, they're looking to secure this Mountain Soul as quickly as possible. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th Mountain Soul we've had in this best of 5.
Absolutely.
Binga's gonna steal, this two-shot barrage for his team as well. Sorry, putting that many volleys down. Eccentric pop two-shot barrage, but not landing on any champion. The Dragon will be able to get a reset in, as these teams are just kind of picking and choosing each other. Huge two-shot barrage from Binga, playing onto 3 champions. These champions, they're looking pretty low there for Dice, and they're just focused Dragon Wave as much as possible, just setting their back line. They got Gobbler getting called out. Manido's gonna go in using his copy. Gobbler's gonna have to land spike, flash out. Eccentric looking low. Resurrecting gives Zillion all from Chrono Shift. Manido going in there with Crushing Blow and Nimbus Strike to secure the kill. And that's gonna be a mountain. That's gonna be a Mountain Drake for Team Maxwell. A lot just happened there. I mean, Gobbler was doing his best to trying to poke the dragon down right out of his range while keeping it not resetting.
Absolutely, yeah. That Ezreal not really coming into play too much here. Sitting at 1 and 3. I mean, he is winning as far as kills go. But Ash getting a lot of assists. That Wukong coming in and doing a lot of work. But yeah, you can see. I mean, that Ezreal, even after using his phase shift, he's still, or his arcane shift, he's still getting caught out, or he's still getting stunned. Even after doing it a second time from the resurrection of that Zillion, they're still able to get on top of him and take him out. So I'm still not liking this Ezreal. I was hoping that they were going to show us a good reason for picking him, but unfortunately they just haven't been able to do so yet.
Yeah, honestly, in that fight, it looks like Kairos might be getting caught out, but he's gonna flash safe though. But in that fight, I mean, Eccentric using two-shot barrage a little bit early, didn't do any damage. I think he maybe hit one person with it. But on the flip side, Binga, I mean, took about half health for Kindred, Syndra, and Eccentric there. So, kind of worries me a little bit. But there we have Chris Ayer's going to go down on Gobbler as he goes in. He's going to quickly get bursted down thanks to the stun from Pantheon. Chrono Shift going down onto Zillion. Silas coming in from behind to secure the kill onto the Ezreal as Eccentric attempted to escape.
Absolutely. You do have Set in the top lane looking to possibly take this tower though.
Killing spree.
Meanwhile, though, Maxwell is just showing pure dominance down there in around the Dragon Pit in the river. Ash taking it in the bot lane. Pantheon pushing into the mid.
Then we have Manido going in, being able to use Cyclone to escape the true damage, and all the damage coming from Set, and just decimating him down using Crushing Blow, Nimbus Strike, and Warrior's Trickster.
Absolutely, yeah. This Set doesn't stand a chance. I mean, we're just looking purely the 6-1 Wukong, 171 CS, 6-1. I didn't catch his Set's level right now, but I'm pretty sure Wukong is definitely got to level up on Set.
I think so, and I mean, you're looking at Set having just phase build compared to Wukong having a full Trinity Force, providing him a massive amount of damage. There we have here in the spot lane, you're keeping down Set on base. Gobbler getting Chrono Shift to save himself after using Lamb's Spike. Set getting a huge burst amount off onto Ash and Pantheon, especially with putting Showstopper Pantheon into Ash is going to do a massive amount of damage. Well, Dingle will be going down as well, but looks like Manido is going to be pushing this top tower. But Dice is going to start heading up to take out this soon as we do it. Start taking on this Baron. I mean, I will say Dice, I will give Dice this. Like, on all 5 of these games, they are making a big focus on, hey, let's get this Baron as much as possible.
Absolutely, and I mean it's very good amount of gold. Pooper Goblin has to be careful that he doesn't go down to that Evelyn ult there, which is exactly what happened. Maxwell just showing up. That took so much to try and take down that Baron that they just rolled up, and the team was so low that they just got annihilated in an instant.
In turn, Maxwell's going to go for this Baron as well, but I sat there knowing exactly what was going to happen. Just knowing, you see Manadel flash straight into Cyclone, take, each of these 2 kills on themselves. Last caress, I mean, just obliterated Goblin.
Absolutely, yeah.
There.
Yeah, Gobbler being not trading the Baron damage at all. Got so low that Evelyn, she literally just rolled up and ulted him, and it was game over.
Absolutely. I'm hoping someone can clip that, because that, someone did say in the chat that it was a clean play. You could say this. And now Maxwell, I think this is maybe their second Baron in total of these 5 games. They will be able to have this for this next dragon coming up here in just a couple seconds. But already you see Dias, getting their full team, getting ready, getting the pokes already down. Once again, Maxwell coming up from this bot side. They really love doing this bot side push up into mid.
Absolutely, yeah, Dias is definitely still trying to stay in this game by trying to take out the Baron and the Dragons. But they need to be careful because their vision is not very good in the jungle. And we do have a team fight. Kindred's ult's going to go down, but there's just so much damage coming down that there's not a lot. The Syndra gets caught out. Wukong keeps running in. He's going to end up catching out the Syndra.
Absolutely. I mean, everything you said was true. I mean, they're going to go and push this tower and then they can get Dragon on the way back. But yeah, I mean, Evelyn 1v1 set and was decimated entirely. Last caress to do the kill, followed by just a huge engage from Manadel onto the Citric and Gobbler, following it up with a Binga Abducts. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely hurting. Set now has this leader finish finally, but I mean, this is a 10-1 Wukong, 7-2 Evelyn. I definitely understand now why Dias is consistently banning out.
Absolutely, I wouldn't even. I mean, Evelyn has been doing really well, but this Wukong, I would say, is the MVP of this game right now. Wukong is all over the map. Maxwell currently has 24 kills, and you can see the kill participation from Wukong is 17. He's basically been there for all but 7 kills, which is really incredible. Just his map awareness, his map presence, and the stronger he gets, he's basically just showing up and turning Dias into butter.
Absolutely, especially with that Cyclone. Yeah, I mean, he just spins around. I mean,
absolutely, it's a quick churn.
Butter's, instant butter. Can't be better believe it's not butter. There we have Showstopper trying to push Manadel away, but he's just gonna quickly go back in with Nimbus Strike. And following it up with a crushing blow into an auto attack will secure the kill, regardless of the true damage and huge shield that top difficulty will pop off. On the bottom side, though, we have Kairos going in on an engagement. Crystal Arrow almost securing the kill for Ash onto the Cinder, but they were being 4v1. Here we have Manadel keeping in as Shire is trying to turn it back. Cinder doesn't be able to secure the kill, though. We have Chrono Shift going down to save Gobbler. Manadel's still there, and he's going to immediately start engaging on her. He's going to be able to use his Nimbus Strike Cyclone crushing blow to secure himself a quick double there on Eccentric and Gobbler.
Red team's turret has destroyed. A summoner has disconnected.
There you have it. While that entire kill is going on, Info is pushing into the base, quickly using Blast Caress and Abduct to the kill and Syndra. And folks, there you have it.
That's right, and that is going to be the end game. 28-minute victory for Maxwell, securing the third win in the best of five, and doing a reverse sweep and taking the season. Maxwell really showing up this season. Incredible work, incredible gameplay.
I mean, just absolutely insane. I mean, you have to give it up to these guys. They got, I hate to say it this way, but they got stomped on in the first two games. 100%. I was thinking Dice is going to take this in this next game, but then a 3-run victory to secure this championship for them. I mean, a 13-1 Wukong.
Yeah, that's incredible, and I really like Wukong, but yeah, he really let him have it. He was showing him exactly how strong he is, and I mean, it was incredible work.
Congratulations to both teams. Congratulations, honestly, to all the teams out there who played this season. I know there was a couple ups and downs, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I loved casting this season. Uh, and all the other casters enjoyed it as well. But yeah, definitely congratulations to Maxwell. They 100% deserve it. They showed up. They were there, ready to play every single game of this season.
Absolutely, yeah. They definitely put in a lot of work. It shows their communication was there. They were able to rotate really well. Their teleports were well timed. Neutral objectives were really good. Dice the same though. Their neutral objectives in this game are really good. I mean, they had a couple slip ups here and there that ended up costing them some of these games, or costing them some of the advantages that made some of these games harder to win. But overall, I think both of these teams absolutely put in a lot of work. I mean, they had to have to get here, right?
Absolutely. I mean, both teams definitely did. It was a long season from the preseason to now. I think what it's been about 2 months or so. I want to say two,
Yeah,
3 months.
I think this was a total of either 11 or 12 weeks for this entire season, to include pools and then this tournament
Mhm.
bracket.
Yeah, they definitely dedicated themselves to it. These teams got together, and you definitely saw improvements across the board. From all the teams, but and Maxwell just stayed true. They started out really well early in the season. They started out, is this? I think technically, though they never lost a series, what they only had these 2 losses in this best of five.
Um, I believe so. Honestly, I do think that was the only two games that they've lost.
I mean, definitely shows that skill cap there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. I'm definitely looking forward to next year. I know this preseason's coming out. There's going to be massive amounts of changes, which is why we're kind of doing this super late finals, because next Wednesday, I believe, is whenever the new patch comes out. So we wanted to make sure that these teams are playing on what they're familiar with. Obviously, for obvious reasons. I mean, you don't want to have a pre-patch and then someone learns the secret item combination that's broken, uh, and basically takes games for free. But yeah,
Absolutely.
next season is definitely going to be very interesting. I mean, we've got a lot of PCSs and whatnot that some of these individuals will do. But yeah, I think we had 7 bases this season, and I'm really hoping to see a lot more participation as awareness goes out.
Absolutely. I hope this thing grows as big as you guys have plans. Y'all ran it exceptionally well. Definitely from me and from the players and from the viewers, a shout out to you and LT for just doing a great job at keeping this thing on its feet. Keep it on top of everything, creating the rules, creating everything really. And LT for doing for those who don't know, LT is here in the background. He's the one running all the scenes, doing an amazing job with that. Created half of those from scratch. So, a huge shout out to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate everything. I appreciate you stepping in and helping us out. Uh, Really good. I mean, last minute, I think we were expecting to stream tomorrow night, and you kind of got that phone call and came in with us. So I appreciate it. Of course, appreciate Load Toad for doing what he does.
Oh, Toad. Yeah. Congratulations once, just last, my final comment will be congratulations, Maxwell. I did not think that they would pull it out after this first two games, but I mean, exceptional job. Just exceptional job, exceptional play all around.
Absolutely. Yep. I appreciate everyone in chat for coming out, watching these games, supporting your teams. Again, look forward to seeing you guys next year.
All right, well, I'm out.
Guys, take it easy.